Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know.
We're all here, I just realized. Hey everybody, this is TMG Podcast. This is episode 55. It's a Monday. We were pretty late, but show must go on. This is Carlos with me as well.
I'm here, and technically when you're listening, it's a Tuesday, so. But it's
Yes,
Monday.
and me.
Hey guys, what's going on? We're back from the future.
Yes, and we have a lot to
God.
talk about. We have a lot of local stuff to talk about, actually.
Local, exciting local stuff.
Video games everywhere. But yeah, we're going to talk about local stuff because
Very wow.
there's a lot of events happening. We just found out about it, and we're covering it. We're gonna, we actually went in one. Well, Will and Miggy attended one.
We brought a voodoo doll of you, so you could be there in spirit.
Yep.
Thank you guys. So the PGF and also the ESGS, which is happening in November. So we'll talk about that in a bit.
What does that stand for? Esports?
Esports,
something.
Gaming. Wait, I have it right here. Yeah, esports and gaming summit. That's the ESGS. And the
gaming summit.
Yeah, the one that happened like last week, which is the PGF, is the Pinoy Gaming Festival, and that is actually an old event that happens every year. This is not like a.
Does it happen every year?
Happens every year, believe it or not. I don't even know.
It does. I'm not sure actually if this the PGF.
I know it happened before, but I don't seem to recall it happening every year.
Not every year, but it's definitely not like it's the first ever PGF.
Yeah, it's not the first one, that's for sure.
For sure.
I went to a previous one
But this
before.
one seemed pretty hype. I mean, there was a good. I mean, most of the people who went there, hardly any cosplayers.
Yeah, this was more gaming focused.
Gaming focused. So I think they're really getting their act together. Like, oddly enough, most of the stalls in there were cosplay related, but there were not that many cosplayers at all.
They were all outside.
I'm actually
old?
wondering if that area in Mega Mall is literally like a cosplay get-together spot in general.
I think they know.
Or did they go there for the convention? That's what I don't get.
Well, that's what they always do. Every convention, most of the cosplayers don't actually go inside.
They just hang out
They
outside.
just hang around outside.
Really? Because you've been telling
yeah,
it so many times. Like every time we talk about conventions and whatnot, when it comes to cosplayers, and cosplayers are everywhere here in the Philippines.
Of course, there are people who block the entrance or like with their giant anime swords and everything, but majority of them really just hang out in the area outside.
I think actually the security did a really good job keeping everything more or less ordered. Like the gamers were there where the games were, and the cosplayers were with the other.
There was a surprising amount of space in the Mega
that was
Trade
the
Hall.
only thing that kind of took us aback was there weren't as many vendors as we thought there would be, and not as many display areas. Like one side was literally the entire Dota 2 Mineski sort of stage, and then the other side were like where the stalls were, and then where the free play booths were for Smash Brothers and other fighting games. And so people were congregating either by the Mineski stage or by the fighting game area, and then everywhere else was kind of bare.
Yeah, which is like a rare occurrence in these sort of things.
Oh, but they did somehow they set up a maid cafe inside. Do you remember that, Migs?
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to go in, but there was a maid cafe.
It looked so empty.
Wait, they set up a maid cafe just for the event? 'Cause those were actual restaurants or cafes
a
in like other
pop-up
countries.
cafe. No, I think they were just serving sandwiches and like tea or whatever.
Have a sandwich.
But it was a gimmick, I guess. And then there was even the other corner where people were playing Magic and shit. So
What?
No, they were playing Vanguard.
Sorry, Vanguard. Yeah, like
Okay, yeah, because I don't know. I've never seen like Magic and like these kinds of things mix. Vanguard makes more sense.
They're usually just one or the other.
Yeah. Okay, so
They probably all hate each other.
Pinoy Gaming Festival. You can definitely say that this is very esports centric, like flat out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
absolutely, yeah. It was Dota on one side and fighting games on the other. That was it, and that's pretty much. Counter Strike is not such
genres you saw.
Huh?
It's the only two genres you saw. There's no shooters, like it's
Well,
Counter Strike.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like Counter Strike's not really a thing anymore here. At least, well, maybe competitively, I don't really see it so much. It's really Dota, MOBAs and fighting games that are.
Is it Dota 2 or Dota 1?
Dota 2.
Dota 2.
Oh, we're moving forward. Okay, cool.
The surprise,
It's a new age.
actually, what surprised us, what we saw there was Friendster. That kind of like we're like, whoa, Friendster! This is like blast from the past.
Yeah, I got.
No, I didn't. I wasn't surprised seeing them there because they've been in a few conventions before. What I was surprised was from their new thing called the Play Box, and they showed off like their poster had a bunch of images of the games they have at Playbox, and there were a bunch of new games there like Borderlands, a pre-sequel, and a couple of other like past shooters that came out this year, like Bioshock
is like branching out, or it's just them changing it.
Since they sort of stopped being a social network, they became more of a gaming thing. But I never really bothered to explore what they were offering after because it seemed kind of scammy in a way. Like it's one of like kind of a portal to play all your favorite free to play Facebook games sort of things, right? So
it used to be a bunch of like web
basically web games.
Yeah.
Like basically, it became like imagine if Facebook were just for Facebook games. That was what Friendster became essentially.
A little more extreme than Facebook games, but that's the general idea.
So Playbox essentially, you saw pretty much
it's like
recent games. So what does that mean? Is this a local portal that would somewhat go against Steam or
Steam?
Other
That's what I find weird. Also, it's like they know what they're up against here. Like, do they really?
Do they know what they're up against? Like, did you get like a demonstration or anything, or they just told you, we have something called Playbox? Can we test it out? I mean, how's it?
From this, we didn't actually try any of the games they had on display, but from what I saw, it was more or less the browser games that they were showing off.
Okay.
And then I guess that was just their platform to announce the new Playbox thing that they have.
And we can't test it yet. They just announced it's going to happen.
No, I think it's already active because they have prices on the site. I actually visited yesterday. And it's also priced in pesos, so I'm guessing they're up and ready.
Okay. But do you think it's something actually, well, I don't think it's going to work though. I mean, I think they're really late in the party, especially with Steam just like recently hitting, implementing Philippine peso, which makes everything super cheap for some reason for us.
Maybe it depends on like how you can pay for the games, like if it's easier or if they have like a sort of card dedicated to do that.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get a hold of it. Because even though the Steam now is in pesos, you still have to buy the US credits pa rin, diba, more or less. Unless you have a credit card. You know naman kids. Kids don't have money.
That's true. But it had new games, huh? It had the new Civilization, it had...
Yeah, they had the new Civ in the list, and Borderlands.
So that was kind of cool.
It's in beta, apparently.
Miggy did pretty well himself in the Smash Brothers tournament.
Oh, yeah, that's all.
Oh, yeah, man. For a guy with no practice, I did surprisingly well.
They actually had a Super Smash Bros. 3DS tournament there. I remember that.
I think because we were there on day 2, on Sunday, and I think day 1 they had Project M. Oh, yun. I played a bit of both. First time I really tried Project M, the mod for Brawl, which makes it more like Melee. And it's I finally saw the stark difference between older Smash Brothers games and the 3DS one. 3DS one is really slow compared to Project M or Melee. Oh man.
So, how's the community though? Like you started playing off.
Oh man, those guys are really
Yeah,
good.
they're a good community. They're fun guys. Like, it was pretty hype.
For a really young community, which started like late last year, just to see how many Smash players there are.
And
Those guys are really good.
are there a lot?
Well, how
it's
many
not.
people are there?
No. What's the usual?
Some
Sorry, what?
the tournament took us like the whole afternoon.
I guess that's good enough.
That's something.
Like more than 100 people, or no?
In the actual community, I don't know. I think so. Pero like the ones that were there, I think we were about at least 16.
It's not so bad.
With the participants being mga a little above 10.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know that like people are actually gathering to play Super Smash Bros. And hopefully that means that people are actually willing to buy the Wii U once it comes out in November. Hopefully.
Oh man, this game is gonna be so good when the Wii U comes out.
I hope so. Like this is what Nintendo needs. So okay.
Just for the fact that you can like record with a capture card or save a replay and actually watch it decently instead of playing it on the Nintendo 3DS and having proper controllers for God's sake.
Yes, very
It's gonna
true.
be so cool. And that nobody's gonna buy.
No one's gonna.
be-
I think it's gonna spark some kind of increase in the
Can sell a little bit, maybe like 10 copies.
You and your false hope. Okay, back to the PGF. What else did you guys see there?
They had the demo for Guilty Gear Xrd, the Japanese
Yeah,
demo.
at the Pinoy 2D Fighters booth, they had a PS4 there.
Oh, Pinoy PS took care. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to
We
try
didn't
it.
get to try it, and it was like people were playing NBA 2K as well. So
Yeah, and after a while, they started playing Ground Zeroes and PT.
Huh? Why?
I don't know, Fox Engine. I don't know. I guess because once the Guilty Gear Xrd people flocked out, they were just like, "Hey, what else do you got on this menu?"
Stay true to the platform, yo. Just keep on showing excerpt. Anyway, okay, cool. So it's just all purely just a tournament. Like pretty much that's what we got.
yeah,
out of
there
Yeah.
were a few other little competitions.
The fighting game tournaments guys were there. The hot seat booth,
Yep.
Mhm.
which they usually appear in the Ozine Fest tournaments run by Jello, who plays like all the anime games, and runs like majority of the fighting game community here.
You guys,
So they had
you
that.
guys came in on day 2. This is actually a 2-day event.
Yes.
And I think most of these big events are actually 2 days. And do we know anything about what happened on the first day, or is it just like the content, or is part 2 just like the finals?
Guess it was just more of the same.
Yeah.
It's like it was really bare when you walk in.
Right.
Like the center was just open space.
Are you
There's
serious?
so much leg room. It's weird.
Okay.
So that was just it. It's in the video that I made. It actually looks like there's a lot of stuff, but you don't see the open space behind us, directly behind
Oh,
us.
your editing skills, your video capturing skills.
'Cause there's nothing there.
Because I
It was really
I did not
there was
see.
that War Machine cosplayer. With the Will saw it. I didn't get a picture with him.
Okay.
But like it was War Machine on steroids. He had all his missile pods out and everything. He had lights everywhere.
Okay.
But for a majority of the afternoon, he was just in one corner. I don't know, waiting for the catwalk cosplay competition on the stage. And that was it. In front of me was just open space. And I guess aside from the crowd,
Oh wait.
aside from the crowd taking up the space in front of the stage,
Mhm.
there was also a line for the Steel Series keyboard because I think they were having a raffle. So you would log in and then I guess they called out your name at the end of the day. And that's it. The booths were on the right side, the stage was on the left, the Dota PCs were at the corner of the left side, and then the console games were on the corner of the right side, and that was it.
How much was this?
Entrance was
150 bucks, something like that.
was it 150, 120?
120,
day.
yeah, 120. That's right.
Typical cosplay ticket
150
price.
per day. Okay. Well, do you think it was worth visiting or visiting next year? Because this is, I'm sure that
If you're
this is
into the
another gaming
competitive
festival.
gaming scene, then yeah, I'd say it is. It's a good place.
I'd say it was much better handled now, but in terms of just raw content, there wasn't a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it would be nice to see like just more shops to go around.
You got a lot of freebies? Sure, that's the
We got a
freebies.
free sticker from
Stickers.
The Smash Brothers
the
community.
Smash Brothers, yeah. And
I don't like stickers. I'm sorry.
But they got a really cool logo though, so that's fun. Apparently there were a bunch of freebies at the Friendster booth, which we didn't check out, so.
yeah, there was a huge line for
Shame.
people to sign up for free shit. So
Yeah, I don't know.
we opted not
Everybody
to.
just likes free shit, even if it's a sticker
Yeah,
or a keychain.
Yeah, remember that
People just
story
go-
about the swag that I told you
I
guys?
know. Everybody just wants something
No,
free.
It's the swag!
yeah. Steel Series guys were there also. They were pushing
Yeah, they had
their stuff.
aside from the
They're very plain accessories.
Oh, and the Topology PH guys.
Yeah, who have
Oh,
officially
yeah.
licensed Capcom
They
t-shirt
just
designs.
opened up a few days ago, and it's their own designs of right now it's just Capcom games, but they have been officially approved by Capcom.
Mhm.
So the shirts are legit, and they actually have really good shirt quality.
Oh,
Because most t-shirt printings get the really cheap, pangit feeling t-shirts.
Yep.
so Topology
So they have-
PH is officially licensed to sell the Capcom, Street Fighter, and
Yeah.
Resident Evil
Yeah.
products.
It's actually officially licensed gaming shirts,
Okay.
but right now they're only
Got
the only
Capcom
designs they have
stuff.
now are mostly Capcom, like Resident Evil, Street Fighter, and was that it?
I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah, Resident Evil and Street Fighter.
There was another Capcom game that I forgot. So yun.
I remember back
Right
at video in your featurette, he was like saying that Mega Man and like DMC are like the ones coming up next in the next batch.
I'm guessing they're trying to eliminate all the Capcom ones first before they delve into other licenses.
Yeah,
It's probably cheaper that way,
true.
and to see if they kick off. But they got some really good shirt designs.
How much are they?
That was it 600 for a shirt?
Yeah, 600 for a
600
shirt.
for a shirt. Oh,
I say that's okay because like the shirt itself seemed really nice and the print looks decent.
okay.
And their designs are really rad because they have one where it's Vega Claw
Mhm.
and M Bison in a pedicab and Bison saying charge.
I like how they put a little bit, a local taste to it. That's pretty cool.
And they got Ken wearing the Uncle Sam hat and saying I want you to Hadouken.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
that's pretty cool.
Down
That's a
so
cool idea.
much.
That's a cool idea.
I wish it said Shoryuken though, because that's Ken's thing.
Anyway, some final thoughts though on PFG. I'm messing up already the name. BGF.
Final
Like-
thoughts?
More stuff.
More
this year.
stuff, because
It's like a convention with a lot of crap and no cosplayers. Because I like walking around and having space.
with all the stuff there, was there actually a crowd? Like where there's actual stuff, was there a crowd, or is just the crowd like all scattered around? Because
No, the crowds again were like either at the fighting game area or at the
Dota stage.
the Dota stage.
The crowd is people who know what they were there for.
Yeah. Then the rest,
And-
like people were milling. There were some people checking the shops out.
Yeah, there were a few wanderers, but not as much as you think.
Yeah.
It's mostly the people who were there know why they were there.
Yep. That's about right.
All right, that sounds cool. If you guys want to see our video coverage of BGF, it's up in the YouTubes, TMG blog. You can see it up there. And you actually interviewed like Topology, Friendster,
Yeah.
the Super Smash Brothers community. So yeah,
We
That's
actually,
some stuff.
this is all in preparation for the next big.
Yeah, that was more or less like an audio video test, which, that's why some of the audio is blown out, but that's my bad.
yes,
But I am now prepared for ESGS.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
ESGS is
that's
a big-
another event because yes, Mega went there just for like in preparation with our equipment to actually fully do a full coverage on ESGS, and ESGS is pretty much the esports and gaming summit And from what I know, from what I'm hearing, and from what I'm reading articles about it, ESGS is trying to aim for like a convention that's just focused on the games. And as memory serve, in this country, there hasn't been a gaming convention where it's just literally, it's not about the esports, like it's not about the cosplay, it's about actual games.
Yep.
I don't think we haven't.
Well,
seen
they've
anything
tried,
like that.
but it still becomes more about the cosplay
Yeah.
because those are their sponsors.
But I'm kind of hopeful because this one actually has local game developers.
This one sounds really big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first heard about this and I heard that they're actually bringing in or inviting local game developers to show their chops, show what they've developed and what they're currently developing. That was instantly exciting already. As much as it might be as small, it won't be as big, but they're aiming for those really big conventions. Like we're talking about E3, we're talking about PAX, TGS, Gamescom, those conventions.
Real developers.
Yeah,
you
real
guys.
developers showing you new games to trip out on. Here we'll have the Filipino flavor of like local game developers. Like maybe it won't be PS4 stuff, it won't be with that, but we'll have like
Mostly, PC though.
PC, I'm
we'll have
guessing.
games made by Filipinos, made by local companies, and I'm actually pretty excited for that. I don't know the final count though, but I'm counting at least maybe 8 to 10 local game developers showing their shops,
And-
showing different games.
Am I right when saying that they're renting out two places at SMX and separating the devs from the regular dealer's room with the
ESGS is happening
regular stuff?
in Mall of Asia and SMX Convention, and they'll be covering halls 3 and 4.
Yep.
And from what I know is like one portion, which I think is hall 3. A big portion of that hall is like all like local game developers and whatnot.
It's not two separate rooms. You can connect those two. So
Yeah, but they can have a false wall set up.
there'll probably be some sort of false wall set up. So the devs will have their area, and then everything else will have the other area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the cosplay situation is in SMX, but we'll see how
We'll have more space, that's for
for sure. Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
know they're gonna have a discrete competition for the cosplay, but I don't know much about the details. But
In my experience, if there's like any problems with like the cosplayers, it's usually the handlers of SMX mismo.
okay.
Like, yeah, if there are long lines or whatever with the entrances, it's not the event's fault or like the event organizer's fault.
Okay.
But hopefully it turns out well because I've had some bad experiences at SMX.
Oh, really?
Yep, I had to wait in line for 2 hours at some point.
But that's the reason why we're actually pretty excited for this event. ESGS is happening on November 15 and 16, and we're really excited to actually start meeting these local developers and actually do full-on interviews. Because what we're trying to do, what we're going to hope to do, or what we're going to try to do, is pretty much do a full coverage. We're going to go through every single local developer.
Yeah,
And
we're going to try to give you guys full comprehensive coverage, and I think we'll probably be the only ones actually trying to do that.
I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more of other sites and,
Yeah, but we're planning to talk to everyone.
Yeah, if anybody from ESGS is listening, we're talking to you. We're talking to the head organizers. We're talking to Agersoft. We're talking to, I'm not too sure if LevUp's going to be there. We're talking about all those local publishers, local developers, every single one of them. We're going to talk. We're going to talk to the guy in the front gate.
Heck, we'll even talk to PLDT, like even the ancillary guys. PLDT
Talk to the guy with the biggest sword.
GF.
We'll find the guy with the biggest sword and we'll talk to him. We'll ask him why he made that big sword. We'll talk to everybody.
Are you overcompensating, sir?
We're literally planning out a full coverage. We're gonna, I don't know, it's gonna be crazy. For one, video interviews left and right, and at the same time, we're gonna have a special TMG podcast episode per day. So after day one, we'll record one episode talking about everything that we've experienced, everything that we've covered, and then we'll do another episode for day two. we're planning a lot. That's what I'm saying, and I'm actually pretty excited to actually start it.
Absolutely.
And from what I understand is, aside from the local game development and the publishers showing their chops, whatnot, the usual esports will be there, just like in PGF. But this is going to be in a bigger scale, meaning they have, like, I think, a couple of main stages, and those main stages are all reserved for those esports competitions, and these are all finals. These are all big time finals. And so if you guys are looking out for like the best out of Hearthstone, League of Legends, Dota 2, StarCraft, fighting game community, Tekken Tag, Street Fighter, I think there's also a Persona tournament somewhere there. We also have a Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's going to be at the same booth,
Yeah.
all of that.
Right. And then some, I guess, what's the FPS tournament, whatever FPS game that's pretty rad right now in the Philippines. They're gonna have it all. Dragon Nest, Auto Street Fighter 4, Point Blank, Assault Fire Finals. A lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot. There's definitely a lot.
I'm just like checking out. I'm just in the top of my head all the events that are currently happening. So aside from that, and then we have the local game event. It's actually going to be a really big event, and hopefully everything goes according to plan. I'm not too sure because this will be the first ever esports and gaming convention, which is ESGS. And yeah, good luck to them because if it actually comes out as a success,
we'll be there again next year.
We'll be again next year, and it'll be bigger. More developers will show up. That bowl, if they start up this bowl,
the bowl will get rolling. Yeah, hopefully we'll even see
sure.
some more international faces in the area. We could even you could invite people from not just Philippines but Southeast Asia. Like for example, the guys who did Dreadout who are in Indonesia. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked it out, go check out the YouTube for my playthrough of Dreadout.
Yep.
Yes.
Will's playthrough of Dreadout full LP is going live.
Everything dread out, and you can see his face. I'm not too sure you got scared at some point.
I did.
His face is
Scary
there.
as hell, dude. But yeah, no, what I'm saying essentially though is like expand it out. Like ask Singaporean devs to come, Malaysian, Indonesian, make it a Southeast Asian sort of thing. And
Yep.
I think
I'm really hopeful for it. I just really hope it really gets it's considered as a successful event, and we'll see it next year as a bigger event. And then as the years go by, because if there's one thing we kind of need, it's ESGS. It's this kind of convention because there's a huge gaming community here in all branches, in all aspects, esports, casual, hardcore. There's a lot of gamers here. There's a lot of passionate gamers here, and ESGS might be like the convention that we need. So if you guys are actually very interested, again, November 15 to 16. You can start actually buying tickets now.
And you should buy tickets now because it is limited availability.
Yeah, it's limited so that it won't be that crowded in SMX convention. That's what they're trying to say. I mean, the number of tickets that are allowed are like the maximum space for the event or for the SMX convention set. Yeah. So you can buy tickets right now in I think all SM ticket outlets or SM cinemas, and they're 150 per day. So if you want your weekend to be fully booked, it's $300. $300 to check out this pretty awesome convention. We'll be there. Say hi to us. We'll just be those people that are running around with a camera and, asking for interviews left and right.
No, but, if you see us, come say hi.
Yeah, if you recognize us, do say hi. But we're definitely going to be there. We're definitely going to do a full coverage. And yeah, I am so excited. Do you think it's going to be big though? Based on what we've,
I hope so.
Based on what we've gathered in terms of information and.
I'm excited though. I think this will be a good, I think this will be a good showing because I've never actually seen this many local devs in one area before like this. So I think whatever this guy's got going is a good thing.
I only recognize one.
I'm sorry?
I only recognize one under all the list of local names.
Yeah, I see, exactly. But we never knew half of these guys existed. And I'm actually glad that the local publishers are not really in force here because they have their own conventions, like the IPVGs and the e-games guys. They have their own conventions for their stuff. So I'm sort of happy that they're not here in full force, since it gives us time to focus more on what's really being made here locally, rather than, what the latest and greatest from Korea and China are.
Yeah. Moving on.
Impressions? Well, I can start with that. I played the new Angry Birds Transformers, and it's actually kind of fun. To be honest,
Huh?
it's
How does it play?
well, okay. First of all, it's not your typical Angry Birds like physics sort of game, right? It's a side-scrolling shooter. Basically, you have a bird who is also a transformer.
What are they called? Are they called birdie bots or something?
Oh god, I don't remember what they're called.
Is Optimus Prime
I know there's
actually Optimus
Decepticons
Prime?
and the
Bumblebee.
well, what I
I
really
need you
like.
to get the eggs from the Transformers.
So basically, you're running from left to right. Your character is running by himself, and you're just tapping on the screen to shoot stuff. That's it. It's pretty chaotic, and then at times you have to transform because you have to avoid like stuff falling on you. So when
Okay.
you
Are you always running to the side or
yeah,
something?
you are. You're always running to the right, basically.
Is it infinite running?
It's not an infinite runner. It's like each stage is a set thing, right? And you're basically
Okay.
just trying to get the highest score possible. It still uses the 3-star system from previous Angry Birds games, right? So, it's just a matter of, and it's easy to control. You just tap where you want to shoot, and they shoot. Hold it down, and you transform. Things like that. So, and it's actually pretty brainless fun for what it is. Like, it's no frills. It's just a good time waster. And I really like how I really like how they combine Transformers, like, that you would recognize with birds and with pigs, right? There's still a lot of character in the birds and the Transformer birds, which I really like. The problem for me really comes about when you run out of energy. Yeah, this is a game that relies on a free-to-play energy system. So when you're out of energy, you gotta wait, or you gotta pay.
Does it hit you really hard early on?
Actually, early on, it's not so bad, but when you get to about level 5, 6, 7, then you're waiting for about 5 hours before you get a piece of energy, or...
Yeah, because that was my problem with the go-kart Angry Birds.
Yeah,
That was
exactly. The go-karts Angry Birds, it's almost exactly like that. So, it's not the most aggressive freemium game I've played, but it's aggressive enough that it kind of puts me off.
Well, how
Like
many hours
it's really smooth early on, and then boom, you hit a wall.
Yeah, I mean, it does give you free gems for doing certain things, but I still feel like it once you hit a point, like, it's just, you're waiting for hours and hours just to play one or two stages, and then you gotta wait again, right?
How long until you actually hit that wall where you have to...
Maybe over the course of,
3? Or...
2 to 3 hours, yeah, because I was just, you level up pretty quick in the early parts, and then once you get to that point, yeah, that it starts to slow down.
I never liked the whole, you have to wait for your...
For your energy, yeah. It's
I don't think I ever played a game.
and I
think
feel,
Danny Death Star, I think, is the only one I kind of was okay with, but no.
I would have rather they used an ad system, just keep it free and put some ad, like the original Angry Birds.
Or any other game that's in the iOS.
Well, like the original Angry Birds is completely free, right? You could just...
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, they just throw ads in your face.
They just throw ads in your face. I would have been okay with that. But here, they're being a little bit more...
That's not how corporations work.
It's a shame, really. Because otherwise I'd say it's a pretty mindless fun. Like, it's fun, and you want to keep playing it, like, because it's just so brainless, right? You don't have to think.
Yeah.
You have a good time, but then when it hits that paywall, like, oh, okay, back to reality.
Yeah, because if it has gameplay that's kind of like brainless, like it's a brainless like fun affair, and they're asking you to wait.
Yep.
Then like screw that, because you're not really getting anything substantial from what I'm hearing. Like, but it's the same. It seems like the same formula over and over. It's just a different coat of paint.
Well, that's the thing. It's not the same formula, except the fact that it uses the Angry Birds license, because it's not a physics-based, like, slingshot sort of game, right, anymore.
No, but I'm talking about the method, like, this kind of grind, and then you stop, and all that.
Yeah.
That's how most games work naman now.
Yeah.
So we can't really, fault it for that.
Is this what Rovio needs now? Like based on what we've
Remember,
experienced.
we had a use bit last time that Rovio wasn't doing too well. I honestly think they need. This is a nice. It's a fun game, but it could have done just as well without being Angry Birds.
Yeah.
I think if it was just a pure licensed Transformers game, it would have been fine. I mean, it's kind of cute that yes, they're birds and they're Transformers, and the animation is really well done. I have to say for a mobile game, like when the transformation animation or just when the bird is just standing around, like it's they animate very well. They're very lively. So they do put a lot of effort into bringing out the character of their characters, but it's still stuck in this freemium model that just doesn't work for most of us, I think.
And then this company actually having just Angry Birds, I don't think that can sustain them as much. Well, in my head, I think they really need something new. And
Actually, I don't know how much money. Like, what I would love to see the split of profit, how they make from how much from the games, how much from the merchandise, because the merchandise I think is really big for Angry Birds.
Kids love Angry Birds. Like all those plushies, like
All the plushies. There's even the toy playset where you can actually make a little slingshot setup with them.
Yeah, I actually play with my nephew on that.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
actually set up the pigs on how you want to do it, and then you slingshot the actual birds, and then just let it pop
I
up.
actually have those little squishy rubber balls with water.
Yeah.
I have Angry
one.
Birds of those, like a little stress ball. It's fun.
Squishing a bird or a pig?
Squeeze them like
A pig or a bird?
the bird.
A bird. Okay, that is awesome.
They're like $25 out and clicking them long.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So there you go. That's my impressions of Angry Birds Transformers. It's free to download, so there's no harm in,
There's never no harm in those things. You can just try it.
you can
see
just
what
try
you
it.
think.
Yeah. Maybe you'll come to the same conclusion I did regarding the freemium model. But there you go.
I want to see the stats on like freemium models, like how much hours do people actually play until they actually stop for good? I mean, is it like past the paywall or is it before the paywall?
Yeah. Actually, that's actually a good question. I'm actually wondering about that as well.
Well, anyway, for me, what I've been playing this week, I was able to finish up The Evil Within a couple of days ago. I finally finished it. I gave Alien Isolation some time off to cool off, and because I was actually towards the second half of The Evil Within, I actually started having a lot of fun with it.
But you guys should also check out Carlos's playthrough of Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
Also on all the YouTubes.
I'm also that's
how many
Let's
parts
Play.
is live now? 2?
Yeah, part 2 is live. Part 3 is actually up. It's all ready. I just have to press, live to bring it up live. I'm also uploading part 4 already, like tonight. So yeah, and I think I have like pretty much the first half of Alien Isolation all recorded. All I gotta do is just edit it, release it out there, and for all you guys to enjoy me screaming. Half the time, me screaming out of nothing there, because whenever the alien actually gets me, it's over.
That's the best kind of scare.
I know. But anyway, moving back to The Evil Within, I think last week I talked about how it was just a game filled with gore and blood, and not really, it really being a scary game.
It's scary in the sense of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre scary, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like how RE4 was survival horror, but not like scary horror.
Survival horror with the emphasis of survival, which is pretty much what Resident Evil has always been. Like it technically has horror because it has zombies, a couple of jump scares every now and then.
Yeah.
But you can't say that Resident Evil is that scary. You really can't.
Yeah, it's
not. But it is a survival horror.
By definition, it's survival horror.
Now, I think the previous games were pretty, at least the first one was pretty scary.
The first one was,
The second
then
one-
it got a bit goofy in the second one.
Yeah. The second one, I was genuinely scared by the first time I witnessed the liquor. When I first saw that, when he was in the ceiling and it just drops, it detached itself from the ceiling and then you fight it. Yeah, I got scared by that and then other things from Resident Evil 2. With The Evil Within though, yes, heavily heavy emphasis on survival. But that's a good thing because what Evil Within is trying to do is it's trying to just go back to its roots. Like this is survival horror in its true form, in its best form. And yes, you're not getting the usual scares like I would pretty much experience in isolation, but I definitely can say that if you want a survival horror, way back in like to reminisce in the whole like Silent Hill, Resident Evil 2 days, this is the game. This from the camera angle, how you shoot, the scarcity of your ammo, how you have to plan out your attacks, either running away or shooting them in the leg and then just stomping in their head, like that kind of gameplay. It's all there. The boss fights though are not fun.
They're not fun?
They're actually annoying. That's the one thing I kind of noticed, like, on the second half. You actually get a series of bosses, eventually. And, yeah, they just feel like a wall that I just kind of want to throw my controller at. I don't know if it's just cheap ways of killing you, in a sense. Like, if that boss or monster just touches you, you're dead. So half the time I'm just running around, triggering traps, and then, trying to weaken it. And at the same, like, it's pretty much the whole conserving your ammo or, trying to survive, save up all your parts, your crafting parts, or your health. All of that is just to survive this boss. Because once I'm done with the boss, I'm like down to 0. I have nothing else left.
So it's one of those games where you really gotta, like, conserve your ammo and your health, through the main thing, save up for the boss.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Because there's always, which is, I think it's part of the design, because after every fight, I'm always like scrounging for new stuff because I'm always like down to my last bullet or down to my last syringe.
Right.
But that kind of stressed out the hell out of me because I've like stocked up so much and this thing soaks up so much damage that I always have that like urgency to just like reset because like, God, I used all that ammo for that son of a bitch. Are you kidding me? Because there's one point where I saved so much. I had like a maxed out shotgun, maxed out pistol, a couple of grenades, and then towards the end of this specific boss, I had nothing left. I had like, I think, one more clip on my pistol, and then, there you go. But I guess that's just frustration because it's also the how to beat these bosses are also just like trial and error. They don't really tell you specifically how to beat them. Like, the best way possible. You up, you die, up, okay, this is how you do it. So, after like maybe 10 to 15 tries, then you finally, okay, you kind of get a flow on how to do it, and then bam, there you go. But that's why it's so frustrating, because it's more of a trial and error, and then you're just like depleted towards the end. And that's the rinse repeat. That's kind of the formula I got, during the second half. It's like rinse repeat. You figure out the boss, you deplete all your items, and then after the boss, you have to scrounge for more items again, and then just to, survive the next
boss, right.
And that was kind of frustrating for me. But towards like, in between those bosses though, during the second half, it was actually turned out to be really, really fun. When I started to get the hang of like the shooting and what I have to do to survive, like, there's actually a lot of ways to take down these enemies, like, just like how in zombies or like in Resident Evil, if you shoot the leg, they go down, right? Same thing here. Mm-hmm. They're not zombies, but you can shoot the leg, they topple down, and you can use a match to set them on fire. Boom, it's dead. I don't have to use bullets anymore. Like matches in this game are so essential because they're like one-hit kills. Like, these monstrosities hate fire. For those who don't know though, in Evil Within, there's like a series of monsters and all that. It's all gore. It's all pretty nasty stuff. It's all in someone's mind. I'm not spoiling it. I'm just like, that's just how how the game is like pulling off this pretty crazy world. Like on the first few chapters, you're like wondering what the hell is going on. I don't understand what's going on. But towards the later part, you'll start to wonder, it's all in the minds. Like, so. All the things that are happening to you, like what's happening to Castellano, the main guy, and the characters, all that, because it's all absurd what's happening. Him surviving a fall, him of that, once you realize it's just all in the mind, it's easier to take in. Like all the monsters you're fighting, all these big monsters, and
Spoiler alert, guys.
no, it's I want you guys to realize that because it's hard to swallow once you don't realize that certain fact that it's about a mind game. It's about actually living a nightmare.
Right. No, I get it.
So because I'm telling you, you experience a lot of crazy shit in the game. I ended the game with I think 15 hours in. It's pretty long. It took me 15 hours. I died 117 times.
Oh yeah, it shows you at the end.
Fucking A. I didn't know
that.
how many times I died. I panicked. Wait, what?
It's like Dark Souls.
Yeah, so I'm not a good game. I'm not a good game player for this game.
Don't you play on the max difficulty agad naman?
Well, when you first play the game, you have.
I mean, like casual and then like regular.
Yeah, when you play the game for
whatever.
the first time, you have the normal difficulty, which is what I picked, and the easier version. So it's normal or easy. So like me being the dumbass that I am, I went for the normal one, and yes, it was kind of hard. The difference between these difficulties, from what I know, is that if the higher difficulty you go for, the less ammo you can pick up, the more harder the enemies hit, stuff like that. What else can I say about this game? Story is complete rubbish. I mean, it's just all over the place.
Yeah, I heard.
It was really weird. But I guess I'm okay with it though, to be honest. Like it wasn't towards like the first the middle point of that game, I didn't quite care anymore. I just wanted to see how it I kinda had an idea on how it's gonna end. I just wanted to see if it's actually true. But the level design though in this game, that's the one thing I actually want to mention. It's actually well done. Like Shinji Mikami, the creator of Resident Evil, just had free reign on how to do this. And the whole idea of this game just being in everybody's mind, the level design and the level structure changes every single time. Like I actually had a chapter where I was running through a corridor and I'm in a cave, and then now I have to traverse, and all of a sudden I'm free falling. It's just really it just changes atmosphere left and right, which is actually pretty cool. And there's actually one chapter that was really scary because all of a sudden you fall and all of a sudden you're in this mansion, and when you're going through the mansion doing they have a couple of puzzles there, and then you actually have to solve them in that mansion. When you're going through that, there's the anti-protagonist or the enemy in that game shows up and out of nowhere, and you can't do anything about it. You have to run, and if the guy touches you, you're dead. And this guy is teleporting left and right. The only time
the safe guy, no?
Huh?
Is that the safe head?
No, it's the guy with if you guys saw the trailer, it's the guy with the cape. I mean, with the hoodie. If you guys watch the trailer, you guys know what I mean. But that's the only time I actually had actual fear, because the only time I know the guy was around the map is when everything turns blue, and I don't know where he spawned. So it's either I can hide in the closet or I just run away. This guy just pops out of nowhere, and if he touches me, I'm dead, and I have to go through the whole process all over again. So there's a little bit of tension there in this game. But overall, The Evil Within, it's definitely a great game if you're looking for a survival horror. If you're looking for something like just an actual horror simulator, similar to maybe Alien Isolation or even Frex Slender and stuff like that, to actually get super scared, like those really sudden jump scares, you won't get it here. You'll just get a very classic, a very back to the roots survival horror with a ton of blood just splatter across your screen. And if you guys like Resident Evil and those other games like Silent Hill, then this is definitely a game you should pick up. And I think that's it for me. I think I'm going to play it again though, because
yeah, I heard it gets better the second time around.
Yeah, it actually did. And as much as the story is rubbish, as you go through the story again, some things actually make sense now, especially when you actually have an idea on what's going on. So there's a good reason to actually go around if you, for example, actually like the story.
I find that a problem though when you have to replay a game just to understand certain parts of the story. I think that's a weakness in the storytelling.
Oh, you think? Okay.
Yeah, well, that's my opinion, as unpopular as that may be.
Well, when it comes to
I'm talking about gameplay wise, I heard it gets better the second time around.
Yeah, you get a rocket launcher.
Oh, okay, you get better shit the second
Yeah,
time around.
when you
Shinji Mikami style, you know?
Right.
when you actually finish the game, you actually unlock new weapons that you can actually replay. You can actually use when you replay the other chapters. And I got a rocket launcher. That was fun. But it's actually stupid though. They actually gave a stupid drawback to the rocket launcher. When you actually equip it and then you aim, he kneels down. I can't move around when I use the rocket launcher. So that's the only gun where you actually have to kneel down and I can't move, which sucks. But yeah, that's Evil Within. Survival horror. If you're looking for it, get this. Definitely a great game.
Cool. I heard on PC you can actually remove the letterboxing and lock the frame rate at 60.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that's the definitive version of that.
For sure.
If you
PC.
can. If you can run it, get it on PC.
It's not so bad though,
Yo.
in terms of like the requirements. It's not that a very demanding game. But if you're definitely interested in getting Evil Within, go for the PC version. You can unlock the 60 FPS, and you can fix the letterboxing, because if there's one thing in the PS4, it's the first game I've ever experienced FPS drops in my PS4. It's not well polished, I guess is the best way I can say it. I've experienced a lot of FPS drops, especially in the cutscenes. So
Yeah, but it seems to be a problem across all the
Yeah.
releases, so that might just be there on their side then.
true. But if ever, go for the PC. And there.
That's
Alright.
cool. I've been playing a more upbeat game. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, yo. Or in Japan, it's called Persona 4 Ultimax Ultra Suplex Hold.
Which I prefer that name.
It's amazing, dude.
Wait, can you say that again? I didn't get the last.
In America, it's called Persona 4 Arena
Ultimax.
Ultimax. In Japan, it's called Persona 4 Ultimax Ultra Suplex Hold.
I love Japanese.
Yeah, and the box art is the main character of Persona 4 with his shirt unbuttoned, and he's wearing like a wrestling belt.
Okay.
This is crazy.
So,
It's a sequel to the fighting game spin-off Persona 4 Arena, which came out, what was that, 2 years ago?
Mhm.
Yep, made
like
by
that.
Axis, the guys who do Guilty Gear
Yeah,
and
it's made by Arc System
sorry,
Works.
I want to say Axis, sorry.
They all sound alike. Arxis, Atlas, Axis.
Yeah, the guys who make Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. So it's got a good pedigree behind it, and it's actually an Evo title, right?
is it?
I think so. And it's actually one of the easier anime games to get into. At least I find it
No, that's
so.
true. Most anime fighters tend to have very complex systems.
Oh yeah, man, especially BlazBlue.
Yeah,
Like, it's so
BlazBlue is
tight.
ridiculous.
I've never touched a Persona game. Just
It's fun, dude.
no, I mean
It's
anything, like even the RPG one.
Well,
the fighting
I
game
don't
one.
think you need to play the RPG to enjoy this.
it certainly
But it
helps.
certainly would
though.
help. Yeah, I mean the story mode. I think you would get it more. Have you played?
Or even just
RPG?
like the references that the character makes, because their dialogue changes depending on who they're fighting.
Oh, okay.
And the wind poses and all that. But yeah, if I actually got into the RPG after playing the fighting game.
Oh, so you weren't actually an RPG, like you weren't actually a
So,
fan.
like I knew about hey, Persona blah, it came out and really late in the PS2.
Mm.
It's amazing, blah. Then hey, I saw the character art for one of the characters and I want to play that. And I looked up the system. Hey, this looks actually really good. And yeah, I got into it in the reverse way.
The fighting is solid enough, actually. But I'm curious, like, do you feel that there's a significant difference now between the previous game and?
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
There's a big difference.
Apart from the new
Initially,
characters,
I was
right?
like-
I know there's.
Of course. But initially, I was like, because this game was crazy expensive when it came out here for some reason. Even like the Asian version that didn't come with the tarot cards and the bop bag. So I was thinking of putting it off until maybe next month or something. And I only got it because a friend of mine actually wants to buy the cards from me, so that's why I got it. But after playing this, I find it hard to jump back into the previous game just because of all the improvements in this game. It's more or less the same, but they just added so much that I find that this is already a superior game. Aside from the new, like each character has at least one new move, and a few balance changes and all that. They added a new thing where you could play a shadow version of each character, which in the Persona storyline is like the evil counterpart of your character.
Mhm.
And so the shadow, there's a system in this game called the auto combo where if you essentially hammer the A button, it would link into a combo, into a special, into a super. So that's your easy go-to super if you're like in a pinch or if you're not good in the fighting games. And they changed that up. Like compared to the first game, all the older characters have a different auto combo, but their shadow versions actually retain the old auto combo from the previous game. Big picture-wise, it doesn't really make a difference, but it changes a few of their normals. So I guess you could alter your playstyle off that.
Right.
But aside from that, like in most Arc System Works games, you have a burst, which you can use to get out of a combo if you're being wailed on. And they changed that up with the shadow characters. Because in your regular playstyle, you can use it to extend your combo by like maxing out the hit stun, or bursting yourself out of a combo if you don't want to get damaged. But the shadow characters actually changed that up, where they don't have a normal burst. What they have is like how do you say this? Imagine having infinite meter for a certain amount of time.
Right, yeah. So it's kind of, I get it.
I guess the closest way to say this, aside from the infinite meter, is
Factor.
KOF, King of Fighters 13.
Okay, yeah.
Where if you, in KOF 13, when you HD cancel, you can keep special canceling in your combo. So like, you hit him, you go into special, then you can special again, and then end with the super.
Right.
So the shadow characters in burst mode can essentially do that with infinite meter until it completely drains out. And like, they can do multiple supers in one combo, etc. So they can get really crazy and fancy. Well, with the option of not having a regular burst, though.
Did you go through the storyline of the game? Like, I know this is
not yet, because I know
this is actually like there's actually a story to it, and I know
they're actually pushing the story mode here now.
One of the DLCs is actually like you can download the story of the first game and play it in this one. So
yeah, because it's canon and it actually continues on.
It's actually canon, really?
Game.
Okay.
Yes. Because that's
so
Persona
where does the RPG fall? Before, I guess.
Before. Then the first fighting game takes place the summer after the RPG.
The summer after.
Yeah. And the sequel to the fighting game takes place directly after that one.
I see.
And then Dancing All Night.
And then Dancing All Night. Is that canon too? Dancing All Night?
Yes, it is. You know it is.
God.
I want to see the timeline of this thing. I want to see the timeline of this damn
They're gonna make
franchise.
Game Trailers is gonna make an episode of timeline of Persona 4.
So it kind of sounds weird.
But yeah, the new characters are really fun, and I don't think the new characters have shadow. I mean, like some of the new characters don't have shadow versions, but all the new stuff is really good. They changed the HUD because the old HUD used to have like a solid color scheme of yellow,
Right.
which is like the Persona 4 like main color scheme, and they changed that all to blue, which I think is easier to see now.
It's
Actually.
a bit more neutral because there are Persona 3 characters in here now.
Yeah, because even the background was like a majority yellow, so now that the HUD is blue, it stands out a bit more.
All right.
I don't know.
That's cool.
But it's still like everywhere, and it's super outlandish.
Mm.
But it's fun. The netcode is still good because the first game also had decent netcode, and the PS3 exclusive like online lobby where you go to different areas from the Persona 4 game, and you can like sit in a little virtual arcade machine and wait for someone to sit beside you and fight. That's really cute.
Yeah, that's
You can have like emoticons come out.
That's actually a cute gimmick, to be honest.
Yeah, and you can customize your little SD super deformed
I actually
avatar.
like it when developers put effort into their online lobbies. Like, it makes things just more interesting. Like, I know Mortal Kombat had a really cool one for the Xbox.
Oh yeah, where it had like a stage, and you can see who was in line.
Yeah, you can see who was in line and stuff. That, I really...
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter doesn't have them.
Yeah, none of the Capcom games that did anything.
They have
interesting
horrible
about it.
lobbies. They just have like boxes with it.
Remember how Marvel just had cards humping each
Oh
other,
my god, that was the worst.
and they had to patch in spectator mode.
Yeah, I know. That was like the biggest gripe of every reviewer. Like, oh my god, look how it's the cards. The cards are humping.
Cars are just bumping each other.
Bumping each other.
bumping.
Stupid ass. Well, anyway.
It's fun, and I did a little short arcade run in hard mode with my main character from the first game and posted it on YouTube, and someone commented and asked me to do like another character.
Okay.
So yeah, that's parang my small motivation to actually try a few of the other characters in their challenge modes. And I'm discovering that like I suck with some characters. Like my main is Chie Satonaka, the tomboyish girl who's very rush down, close quarter centric.
Yep.
And so the guy on YouTube asked me to try a Persona 3 character who's like a he's got long range normals, and he's the kid with the dog.
Yeah. Okay.
The lance and the dog, and like you have to micromanage the dog along with your regular attacks. So I tend to find that I'm actually landing combos more with this character compared to my main character. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn now.
Oh, that's what happens. That's what happens when you actually go for another character in fighting games. That's why I'm always with one person, always. So.
I don't know. So I'm trying out other characters now just to see how good the AI is. Because I don't know. I feel like they're not all that good. Like the AI can't compensate for the dog, man. They don't know he's there. So I can just catch him off guard and like free launch combo, blah blah blah. But I'm sure fighting against people, they're not gonna have any of those gimmicks,
Yeah.
But it's fun. We should play that sometime.
We definitely should.
Because Will has it, I have it, and sticks galore. But it's really easy to pick up, I swear. Like, there's a new thing where you can hold any of the attack buttons, and it would fill up a gauge up to, I think, 3 times maximum, and you get, like, free special attacks, free supers.
So it gets chaotic really fast if ever someone utilizes those kinds of,
No, like, it sucks, pero it's there. I don't know why, but I guess for people who really don't know how to play the game. Because I'm sure, like, I'm sure this is selling because of people who like the RPG.
Yeah.
Like how people bought the JoJo game because of the anime.
Right. Yeah.
And like how, people bought Injustice just because DC.
Yep.
Batman?
Yeah, exactly. That's why 90% of the cast is Batman and Injustice. So that's me. Aside from that, I did try the Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby demo. That's pretty interesting. It came out on the 3DS.
That's actually interesting because I've never heard Pokemon demo.
Wait, yeah, so like how does it play differently from X and Y?
Yeah, because I was expecting it to play like the first maybe 30 minutes of every Pokemon game where you start off in your house.
Yeah.
And your mom next door.
Your rival. Yeah, it's always your mom. You never have a Pokemon dad.
Yeah, you never.
Something. Except in this game, actually. Your dad is a trainer.
No mom.
Is a gym leader, pala.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, like you pick your first Pokemon and like catch your first Pokemon, go to the shop, etc. But no, the demo actually takes place with like its own little storyline. Like, I think you're helping, I don't remember the characters from Gen 3 because I played this so long ago. But, I'm guessing you're with the Pokemon champion.
Okay.
And you're helping him do Pokemon research, so you fly off to one of the islands to meet the professor.
Okay.
And it turns out you know how every Pokemon has a team? Like Team Rocket,
Team Aqua, Team
blah, blah, blah. So this one, it's 2 teams because this was the first generation of Pokemon with 2 teams per, a team for each game.
Team Lava, right, I think?
Team Magma, yeah. And so you get introduced, because they're like harassing the professor, and you have to like save her by doing a one-on-one Pokemon battle with a child. You beat their ass and they walk away.
Yeah, and actually the Pokemon you get as your starter is actually like, evolved already.
Yeah, evolved to the second form. Yeah. And I think after 2 levels, they evolve to their max.
But I think this is just specific for the demo. Like, I'm pretty sure that the game will start out
Yeah, I'll get into why, because it's so, like, I thought like, hey, I get the level 2 Pokemon, but then it becomes level 3, and there's a purpose for that, actually.
Oh.
But you save the professor, then, the guy tells you can wander about town before we go off to this cave and fight the other guys. Yep. Because they're gonna kidnap this Pokemon, for research.
They always try to kidnap a Pokemon.
Of course. And so, like, there's nothing to do actually in the town because, like, all the doors are locked. The people don't actually do anything. You can't go out. So, yeah, you go to this cave. There's a small pack of tall grass. You can fight a few wild Pokemon. Then you actually fight both Team Magma and Team Aqua.
Okay.
Then you go fight some of the big wigs of each team. Then you meet up your rival, which is like your neighbor friend. And you don't actually... I was hoping for a duel battle because they set it up so well, like twice ata. But yeah, you fight one-on-one fights, and like I said, when your Pokemon evolves into the final form, it's timed so well because right before, you usually tend to evolve after you get into the cave and beat the goons by the front door.
Yeah.
And after them is like the big wigs of the teams. So when you meet the bigwigs, they're like, oh, we can beat up this little kid, no problem. Then the Pokemon champion goes in and helps you and gives you the evolution stone, which lets you transform your Pokemon into the Mega Evolution.
Oh.
So if your Pokemon is in level 3, then you can Mega Evolve.
Yep.
And, oh, wait, I was wrong. You do get one team fight. You team up with the Pokemon champ, and the first thing he does is Mega Evolve his Pokemon.
Did you finish the whole demo already, or...?
Yeah, it's really short, but it actually continues off once you beat it the first time. So there's more to it, and I should get back to it.
Are you serious? You finish it and then when you load it again, there's something...
The first run is really short, mga 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. But when you beat it, there's a whole nother parang storyline again.
Oh,
So,
okay, that's cool.
It's actually deeper than you think. And I think...
Another 15 minutes of your life.
I think your like currency or winnings carries over or something. Because at the end of the demo, you actually can catch the Pokemon that the guys were trying to kidnap.
I see.
Because the guy gives you like a bunch of Pokeballs. And they tease the evolution after Mega Evolution.
What?
Which I think is... Yeah, there's a new thing called Primal Evolution.
Oh my god, it's gonna be a super science thing. I can really feel it.
Primal
Mega
Evolution.
Evolution is like already the most like Kamen Rider shit ever.
Primal. Not Ultra.
Now there's more.
Oh my god. Isn't this is supposed to be a reboot, right?
It's a remake.
A remake.
It's a remake.
Yeah, and then they're adding something completely new, like Primal
Well,
Evolution.
because they introduced Ultra Evolution in X and Y, and I guess it was popular enough that...
Mega Evolution.
I'm sorry, Mega Evolution.
Mega Evolution was in the anime OVA of Pokemon Red and Blue.
Yeah,
The origins.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's right. Charizard became Mega Charizard. That's correct. And that was a cool fight scene too, I have to say.
Yeah, man,
the Blastoise.
Dragon Ball.
Well, this is one question though. Do you see any evidence of like someone like just constantly play the game over and over, like in the grass, just like playing around in the grass, all for I don't know how long? Like,
what do you mean, like
character?
Like
you could probably do that, but the wild Pokemon don't actually give you a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Compared to
I don't think it's missing a lot of the features. Like the trading is not there. You can't. There's no.
Yeah, and most of the menus are blacked out.
Yeah.
Like you can't even save.
Redacted?
It
Were they redacted?
No, they're just not there. Like the icons are missing. And you can't even save. It saves only after you beat it like once, and then once you beat it, the guy will say, "Oh, there's more here to explore. So just talk to me when you're ready, Orlando."
Yeah, your default name is Orlando.
All the characters are pre-named. So like,
Orlando?
I'm not Orlando.
That's not.
It might be his anime name in the States.
Oh, Orlando, please help us, you little child.
It's so hilarious. Like you see these full-grown adults like challenge you. Oh, you're just a scrawny little kid. I'm gonna beat you up in this Pokemon battle. And after you beat them, they're like, "Oh,
And they have to get.
I guess I gotta walk away now."
I have to give you money.
I'm giving you money too.
It's funny how Pokemon and The Walking Dead has something similar. Walking Dead Season 2. They all rely on one child.
Yeah, and I like how in the Pokemon Origins anime, they show off like the absurdity of a child beating an adult and them giving you an item.
Or
like,
money.
Like they show a Team Rocket member handing the kid a key item just because he beat him in a Pokemon fight.
Yeah.
I love Pokemon. It'll never die.
God.
It'll never die.
And you know how Pokemon is like everyone can have at least one generation of Pokemon.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, everyone, yeah, Pokemon.
And that will instantly be their best. Like, oh, Gen 3 was the best because it was my first one. And like you have like the us age group were like Gen 1 is the best, blah blah blah, because that was the first one we played.
It was the
The
first one
us.
ever.
Dude,
It
Gen
started
1,
it
the
all.
us group, the first one.
And people who played the X and Y like X and Y more than anything else, even though they have stupid ones like a keychain and an ice cream cone for a Pokemon.
No, God, some of the it does get ridiculous in some of the Pokemon. Yeah, there is an ice cream Pokemon.
I was fine with the trash bag Pokemon in black and white.
wait, what? There was what?
Yeah, there's a trash bag one. Which, you know,
There's an ice cream
there was
Pokemon
actually,
and there's a trash bag
yeah,
Pokemon?
there's one that was legit ice cream with a cone.
Yep.
And when he evolves, there's two of them.
I'm sticking with Gen 1. I'm sticking with Gen 1 Pokemon.
And
Okay.
there's a keychain
Huh?
where he's not even like a key. He's not like the set of keys. He's the ring.
He's the key ring, right, with
He's
keys
the
attached to
key
him.
Then you have a sword
The
Pokemon.
sword with the shield Pokemon, yeah.
When he evolves, he gets a shield.
He picks it up. That's his evolution. He
Then you
picks
got
up
two
something.
Pokemon. Where's the judo gi?
Yeah, no, there's two of those guys who look.
Sock and throw.
Those guys are terrible Pokemon. Also, I mean, they don't even evolve.
They just get gimped out.
Hitmonchan, but not as cool and not as strong. But yeah, the
That's
demo's cool. It's completely in 2D, which, yeah, I looked up the marketing. It actually says 2D demo.
This is available for all 3DS platforms.
I don't think you can download it willy-nilly
Or is it-
because me and Will got this via code.
Yeah, we got this via code. There was a promo online for it. We
Yeah.
grabbed it right away.
Arlie also
I
got
don't
it. And,
know if it's available in general though.
there was a person asking me on Instagram because I posted a photo and like he was asking me how do you get the demo, and I didn't reply.
You bastard. Well, anyway, the Pokemon what? Sapphire, Ruby,
Alpha Sapphire Omega
I can
Ruby.
never say that right. Yeah,
It's really a mouthful.
it's coming out
It's
when?
worse than. It's coming out this year, I think next month, November. Data Blitz already has the pre-orders
Yep.
up, and it comes with a small minifigure of Primal Kyogre and Groudon, which, you know, I mentioned it to you guys before we started recording. Like the PR message uses like a Romanji version of their names. So Kyogre and Groudon.
Anyway, let's moving on. Let's go over the news. Yeah, news, and I don't know. I guess October's just filled with releases. There's not really that substantial, but a couple of things happened, but not the usual, like, you know, there's like a stream of news and announcements going on. It really is the Burr months. Everything, you know, just are getting released. But we do have news on Microsoft's front, and it's good news because on the last quarter, they actually was able to sell 2.4 million units to retailers.
Of Xbox One.
Yeah. And they're saying that's 102% growth in sales. And
Wow.
It only looks
No,
it only ever looks bad when you compare it against Sony, but I think 2.4 million
They're doing
is pretty
okay.
good enough.
no, but I honestly think that the console race is actually okay. Just the more unusual entity right now is the PS4. It's kind of weird in how it's selling so much.
You think it'll slow down at some point? And
It will eventually, yeah.
I think once you see the big Xbox One exclusives come out, Halo and like Gears of War, we'll start to see a big push in Xbox One movement now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And especially because like this 102% growth in sales is obviously a big the fact that the Xbox One got a price drop from $500 down to $400.
Yep, and they removed the Kinect sensor, right?
Yeah, you can actually buy the Xbox One without the Kinect, and that pretty much brings it down to the same price tag as the PS4, and I'm sure that helped a lot. Another thing that actually helped the Xbox One in terms of reaching that 102% growth is that the Xbox One has finally launched in more territories. They have launched in 28 different territories now, because compared to the PS4 when it was released, I think the PS4 had that same number of territories that they have now on the first few months. Whereas Xbox One only was in a few territories, whereas PS4 was in a lot of regions. Now it's a big. It's good that they actually are branching out because now they're selling the console now in Chile, Colombia, Japan, Denmark, Finland, like all those others.
Well, yeah,
Southeast
it's
Asia.
got in a bigger Euro region release. I think it's Scandinavia,
Yeah, and they
South
also
America, and starting now in Asia, Japan. Obviously, it's not doing too great there, but it is pretty much where you need to be for video
no, but it's
games.
actually September is actually a big month for Xbox. If everybody didn't notice, because all these countries, Chile, Colombia, China, Korea, Singapore, China, Taiwan, all those countries, Europe and Southeast Asia, they were all released in September. They all had different release dates. Like Chile, Xbox One was launched in the 2nd of September. Japan, the 4th. Russia had their batch on the 26th. Korea had it on the 23rd. Like, I didn't even quite see this, but they all had those launches in September. And that pretty much contributes really well to their big growth. That we're seeing right now, and that's a good thing. I'm saying it's a really good thing because I really don't want to see a console monopolizing the console industry.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
As much as like the PS4 is like I like the PS4, I own one. It's doing so well. I don't also want it to its success to like kill competition.
You need the competition there to bring out the best. Really,
yeah.
I think the best, well, actually, it's hard to say because we've never had a point in time in console gaming where there has only been one. I think maybe only like with Atari, which is way at the beginning.
Or you could say the NES.
The NES, no, well, they had the Genesis, man. Like, the Genesis does what Nintendo...
No, but Genesis was like 16-bit era.
The Master System, I guess.
And nobody had a Master System.
But actually, the thing is, the Genesis was released in the same time frame where the NES was still around.
Yeah, pero like, that was a late era, and it's still like a 16-bit console.
But I still say that the fact that the Genesis was there is what spurred Nintendo to push out the Super Nintendo eventually. Right? Because everyone was talking about, 16-bit, blast.
Oh, they can do what Nintendo don't.
What the fuck is a bit anyways? Like, I don't even understand that anymore, why we were obsessed with 8-bit, 16-bit.
It's like the number of like, colors and all that.
64-bit.
It doesn't matter anymore now after
but like, even back then, like when you had like the Jaguar, remember that? 64-bit.
Oh, yeah.
And the games on it were complete shit.
The Sega 32X.
Which was a fucking add-on for the Genesis.
Yeah.
You can turn your Genesis into a space tank.
The Nintendo 64, and then everything on that system had to have 64 at the end of it, remember? Oh gosh.
Well, like everything in the DS had to have DS on it, and everything on the PSP
or like
needed to have the word
Super
portable
Nintendo,
on it.
everything had to have Super in front of it.
Super on it.
Well, now everything has a U at the end of it, right? Bayonetta U.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, but I do, otherwise it's good news that Microsoft is doing well. I'm hoping that their marketing is justified though by these sales, because obviously they're not pushing the same numbers as Sony is, but they're pushing a good amount of number, and I mean they're still a solid second, I think, and that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing,
and it's really early anyway in the console lifespan, so
yeah,
there's
for
still
sure.
time.
It's just like people are just like, the PS4 is way ahead. True, they're way ahead, but
they're way ahead.
But if you check out the stats, and like pretty much like Xbox One and PS4 being like just close to a year old already. The success of the PS4 is the odd one out. It's literally, it shouldn't be that big.
It shouldn't be that good, right? Yeah.
Especially with
it's the highest recorded like console sale for the first year, I think.
I mean, seriously, because we're in an era now with mobile games and tablets dominating the market in terms of gaming for like children and whatnot. That's the reason why Nintendo's having a hard time. And also we see the PS4 unscathed. It's like, it's fine. Like I can live with a $400 price tag and people will buy me. I don't know why. You know what I mean? So they're the odd one out. So if you guys see Xbox One's numbers and say, "Oh my God, they're doing horrible," they're not doing horrible. They're just in a normal thread, I think.
They're
in my eyes.
they're within the normal distribution.
Yeah, they're like a normal group. Nintendo's the one that has actually that's what you call like a horrible.
Yeah, Nintendo's lagging behind.
Yeah.
Given that they had us like a year head start.
A year, because I think Xbox One's ahead already. But
Or at least on par, if not ahead.
yeah. But for sure though, the price tag the price drop on Microsoft that they did in June to even out with the PS4 is a definite big contributor to their ongoing success. To follow up on that success, they actually also announced that starting November 2 all the way till January 3 of next year, the Xbox One will have another $50 price drop. From $400 now down to $350.
That will definitely help it out a lot.
Yeah, so that's their move to like up. If Christmas is coming up, people will start buying games. Here's an extra $50 for you, pretty much, if you buy an Xbox One. And not only that, they're also going to be dumping a crap load of bundles. They're going to be bundling Xbox One with Assassin's Creed Unity together with Assassin's Creed Black Flag. They're doing a bundle with the Assassin's Creed Unity will actually be a $350 bundle. It's $350 and you'll actually get Unity. Or you can actually get the Kinect if you really want to, for $450 and then get Dance Central Spotlight. They also have a bundle for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, that's $450, but you actually have 1 terabyte hard drive already. Or you can actually get Sunset Overdrive for $350. And it's white.
There you go.
There's a lot.
Yeah, that one too.
They're dumping a lot of bundles, a lot of
just a question, like,
choices.
is a white console something that appeals to you guys, or
sexy?
You think it's sexy? Because I prefer having a black.
It looks
I
nice.
prefer having a black console just because, like, it matches the rest of my entertainment area.
Yeah, and that, and dust and age will show up better on white than on black.
Oh, really? Oh, it just looks sexy.
Because white can get dirty long, diba?
Oh, that's true. Okay, that's true. No, but when I first saw it, I kind of wanted it. Like, I wanted it because
it looks nice. Like even the white PS4 looks really nice.
Yeah, but if I didn't buy the PS4 in June, I would have bought the PS4 Destiny, the Destiny.
With the design on it, yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's a different story now if they have prints on it.
Yeah, but you can custom make that actually, the prints on your PS4. But I don't want to do that actually. I don't want to touch my PS4 that way. But yeah, the Xbox temporary price drop. I'm not too sure if that's gonna translate. That's definitely for the US.
Yep.
It's not. There's no actual word.
Got a different story here.
Yeah, it's a different story there. But that's Microsoft's way of like having a great push during the Christmas season because they know that they're behind and trying to catch up and all that. Hopefully, that $50 drop would translate to Xbox One here. For the price for the consoles here, they're being sold. I doubt it though. There are still people buying it though. Every time I buy a game on day one, there's actually at least one person from the Xbox One community here buying a game, or especially like buying Destiny or whatnot. Like, there's still someone there buying Xbox One games. But yeah, good thing that Xbox One's sound like they're actually getting a little bit of a momentum going. Nintendo Wii U, I don't know.
Wii U, well, speaking of the Wii U, one of the biggest titles for the year for the Wii U just dropped last week, Bayonetta 2. And it's
getting stellar reviews.
Well, it's getting absolutely amazing reviews.
Did you expect anything less though? I
didn't. I knew this would be a hit. Absolutely.
GameSpot gave it
a 10 out of 10.
GameSpot 10 out of 10. That's rare for those.
10 out of 10.
That's rare for you.
Very rare. But unfortunately, it still doesn't seem to be moving too many copies. I don't know if this is due because Wii U or because they're just not printing enough.
Because Wii U.
Because we've seen stuff on, like you said, you saw a thread on NeoGAF, where people are helping each other finding copies of the game, because apparently it's not easy to find.
Well, not necessarily asking for help, more like saying, can you guys know where I can buy? Because I remember like the thread was saying that I went through like 3 or 4 GameStops, and I can't seem to find the
None of
game.
them have it.
Like they're having a hard time finding it, and I'm not too sure if it's just them not releasing that many copies of Bayonetta 2.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, like, if you go to
Probably.
Data Blitz, like I didn't see it.
They
You
don't
guys see
have
I
it
didn't see
yet.
it.
They don't have it.
They don't have it. Yeah.
They don't have it
No,
yet, and
nothing at all.
I even asked them to reserve a copy for myself, and they don't have it yet. So, I guess even their suppliers are tight, are kind of constrained with it. I hope this game gets more exposure though, because it's really the first one.
It definitely needs
It needs it for sure,
because not even Nintendo is pushing this in terms of
which is
marketing.
stupid.
Yeah, it
Honestly.
doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it at all.
It's the same.
Like
It
it seems like Nintendo. It's like
It's the same problem that they had with Wonderful 101, actually.
yeah,
Everything
it is.
platinum.
Everything. No, because if you think about it, I think Nintendo's problem right now is their biggest games are Bayonetta 2 and Super Smash Brothers. They're so heavily focused on Super Smash Bros. I think they're neglecting Bayonetta right now.
That's true. They're hyping Smash to the moon and
Because Smash is super hyped right now. They're talking about Smash left and right. That's
Yeah,
all the talk.
but they're banking on
Amiibo
Smash to
and
save the
Super Smash
Wii U.
They would save, but I'd rather think that Bayonetta, if they actually push Bayonetta to a third party big title, mind you, their only third party title, would give them some kind of momentum that would actually support Super Smash Brothers. That would be a good tandem, but they're not supporting it. You know what I mean? And they're just heavily focused on Super Smash Bros. And they're also heavily focused with Amiibo because I think they just got released.
Yeah, Amiibos were just released also.
And those are the Disney Infinity versions for Nintendo. If anybody didn't know.
Yep, the Skylanders.
Yeah, the Skylanders-ish. You can actually miss a speech and put it yourself in the whatever platform and it comes out or whatever.
But here's hoping Nintendo, I know Smash. I don't think Smash needs any more hype. I think it's already in a place where the community is already hyping it up enough without Nintendo having to directly do anything to promote it. I think the last big thing that came out was the announcement of Mewtwo as a DLC character.
Oh yeah, they had this
And
big
people
live
were
stream.
freaking out on
week.
YouTube about it. It's just,
Oh, that guy with the weird hair. Are you talking about him?
Why, freaking out bad?
the freak out in a good way,
No.
like
There's this. It's. I bet it's that guy, mismo. No, like the dude with the crazy, flat top hair.
yeah.
Because he got famous in the Smash scene because of his predictions for Ridley being playable in Super Smash Bros. 4. Like he was going all conspiracy theorists about it, and he was like super OA, and it was like super nuts. And I think he recorded himself watching the live stream. And when they announced that Mewtwo was in development as a DLC character, he was losing his mind. There's video evidence of it.
Because
just out of excitement.
his predictions were coming true.
Such a cartoon character about it. Like, he's standing up and knocking over things, clipping the microphone.
Mewtwo's been another. I would be surprised.
No, but I understand the excitement because I do miss Mewtwo since Melee. I prefer him over Lucario, which Lucario was a sort of replacement for
And
Mewtwo.
Lucario's a weird choice because I don't know about the newer Pokemon cartoons, but he's not exactly the first character that comes to. He's not so iconic, in my opinion. As far as
I guess he's he's a rare because I'm not really familiar with Lucario myself then, but I
he's,
don't know.
I guess he's not that iconic of a character as far as Pokemon goes. And Smash already has a ton of Pokemon characters. They have got Charizard and
Pikachu
Greninja.
in every game. Greninja, yo. That tongue, man.
And they had Red. I mean, the trainer used to be. Is he still there?
But they used to have Red.
Yeah,
they took him out. They just kept Charizard.
They kicked out the train and they left the Pokemon.
Yeah.
They didn't even bring back Squirtle or Ivysaur.
Yeah, they didn't
I would have liked that if they brought them back.
Oh well. Okay, just before we move on, from Nintendo, one thing I want to bring up is there has been a comparison made on Reddit of the Amiibo figures from the final production.
Kotaku also shared this.
Amiibo.
The comparison of the production
Okay,
shots
you
to
see
the
that?
actual retail release.
This is some expected considering figure as opposed to samples which were shown at E3. But like,
I
it's to the
expected
point, like, what did you expect?
I expected like a drop in quality because of like how small they are. Then if you consider,
Yeah, that's true.
because like they're smaller than you'd think they'd be. Like I think they're smaller than even the Skylander figures.
Really?
And,
So they're not
yeah.
even as big as the Disney Infinity figures are not as big as that.
Well, you know,
I
naman
don't
the
know.
proportions
When it comes to
where
figures,
they're chunky and big. Thus, you have like the small, thin, sword-wielding characters in Smash Brothers. And syempre, like they have to make them out of softer material because kids
Yeah.
can like stab themselves in their eyeballs.
I
But
really don't,
you know,
I really
like
wanna come to the whole like production is released like mass production. Like boys do it. They still don't lose the detail. It's not a good enough reason, to be honest.
they still actually look
Small,
really good. If you consider.
Skylanders, they look nice.
They do.
No, I mean, like,
the
if you compare them to the Skylanders, they look a bit more gummy, like the Amiibo
yeah,
figures.
these ones really.
Just because of like they're really small
And
now.
I guess these Amiibos just have the same problem. They're a little bit more gummy. I don't know if gummy is the right word, but they
They look a bit more gummy.
especially
You know,
I mean, you guys
I'm
were
just thinking that.
excited about it.
the most noticeable one I think is Princess Peach, because her
Oh, she doesn't look that bad, actually.
if you look at her the advertised one, she's extremely much more
Crisp.
detailed and crisp than in the.
No, yeah, sure. But if you look at the paint quality palang of the actual production figure, I mean the retail figure, there's still a lot of like paint applications everywhere. But yeah, she's got a bit more of a gummy face, like a hair, like her hair detail, etc. Then you look at Marth's figure. His sword is all bent up
Right,
and
his
everything.
cape is a little bit more like the folds are not as clear cut on the cape.
I don't know, like quality wise, I am a bit disappointed. I'm just hoping that they'll come out cheaper than I think they will be.
They were going for like $10, right? Something like that, 10 yuan.
I think it's 12, 13.
Okay. Like,
So I expect a
the
markup.
thing with these Amiibos is like it's such a wide variety. You've got characters like Kirby, who's
They're
essentially
coming out with 18 in December. I think it's like 9 now in November and then 9 more in December. That's still a lot of figures.
it's much more noticeable though with like the more detailed characters, like Kirby, for example. He's literally a pink ball, so he's not going to have too much detail on him, right? But yeah, characters like Peach and Mario, that's where you really know.
Yeah, like Link, you'll notice.
Or Link, yeah, Link as well. Just a word to, you may be a little bit disappointed with your Amiibos. I'm still probably going to check them out. I mean, if they are compatible with the 3DS, at some point.
And if they're decently priced,
Yeah.
I will also check them out. I'll at least get the characters I like.
I
Because
still
if you
think
about
they
getting
can do a big
18
thing. I still think they can do a huge thing here with the Pokemons, but yeah, let's see.
I don't mind if they're gummy, as long as it's all of them.
Carlos, what else do we have on the news?
The news. Before we begin our urban legends talk, I just want to announce that I think a lot of people think Titanfall is dead.
Oh, is it? But yeah, we've read some threads where it's a little bit dead. I don't think it's completely dead. It's probably a lot less, but it's not.
Okay, here.
Hitting,
I've asked a couple of friends. Because Titanfall actually released a new update or a 4-player co-op mode that lets you play with 3 friends and then go to a series of AI enemies, like in a tower defense kind of way.
Yeah.
And it's free update. Cool. It's a good mode. But my friend it's actually hard to actually find a game with it. And what's funny about it is, good thing he has friends, but when he tries to do it by himself, it's kind of weird, it's kind of hard. And if you go in the regular modes like attrition or capture the flag, we're seeing attrition with at least 2,000 people in other game modes, like close to 50 people that are waiting to play a match.
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but that's actually very low for a game that came out, I don't know, when was it, March of this year?
Very low for a multiplayer only game, actually.
Yeah, for a multiplayer only game.
But it's not...
and a game that still is producing DLC maps. I think the last map pack will be coming out at the end of the month, or the end of the year, sorry.
But this is for the PC version, I'm guessing? Maybe, do they have numbers on the Xbox One or the 360 version? Because I think those are separate, right?
No, that's Xbox One. The Xbox One. PC is even worse. You can't even see the numbers.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's more apparent because you can't even, it takes maybe around 15 to 20 minutes to actually get a game running.
And that's a big problem for people who buy it now because the single player campaign is actually a multiplayer campaign.
Yeah.
And you need to play through that to unlock the mechs.
Not anymore.
Oh, not anymore.
They actually had a patch where you go to a specific rank as you progress in your profile, and then you'll eventually unlock that
mech
body that faces the mech. Yeah, there's no reason to play the single player anymore. Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much because the story was bullshit anyways. I don't remember anything about it.
and it's pretty much you playing a series of pre-planned multiplayer matches.
Yep.
They have like place NPCs that would act like, oh, something's going on. Once all that rubbish and all that gimmick is gone, it's another multiplayer match. Win or lose, the story will move the same way. Point being, don't play the single player. There's no other reason to do it.
It's a pity. What do you think is the problem here? Like, I think because the game back when it was released, we were all over it. We loved it. It was a good game. Why do you think it didn't have the same staying power as, say, the Call of Duty, Battlefield, those other multiplayer shooters?
Actually, I don't really know why. Maybe it has the same formula. It feels like the same method to to level up. You reset the whole thing over again. You play yada yada yada. I'm not too sure why, to be honest, because it really just feels like a more elevated Call of Duty experience. Maybe the people who actually played Titanfall were the people that play Call of Duty, but once they got their juice or their kick out of Titanfall, they went back to
right. And with the new Call of Duty coming out really soon, it's
what they like, which is Call of Duty. It's gonna So I think they just never established a good enough community to actually have the same as Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And it kind of destroyed the fact that the story and the characters were not that appealing and not that interesting. It didn't help with the community building as well, because thanks to the single player being kind of rubbish, it's just pretty much an arena platform with mechs.
That's true. I think one of the advantages.
It's not like in Call of Duty, because like in Call of Duty, everybody knows Captain Price.
Exactly. The storyline of Call of Duty really helps the multiplayer aspect because people have some level of context to see why are they fighting here, etc. Battlefield, of course, doesn't have as good of a story. Actually, I'd say it's pretty rubbish as well, but it was built originally from a very solid, large-scale sort of multiplayer combat thing, right? And I think that still has a very solid appeal. Like, you have all these vehicles to try out. You have very large maps. You have a very robust leveling and unlock system, So I think those are things Titanfall really lacked. Even though as fun as it was, Do you think, I think the game would have benefited from, do you think larger maps with more players would have been something that would have interested you? Because
I think if it had more beef, it would have helped more, because it felt great, it played great, it was a lot of fun when it first came out.
Yep.
But the bare essentials of what makes a multiplayer great are not there. It didn't have private lobby. It didn't have a good enough matchmaking. You can't set up custom games. You can't even rename. You can't even name your custom loadouts. Like, it just feels so bare bones. Which eventually was patched on. Like, all of that is now there. But if they just rolled out with the basic features, the basic essentials of a multiplayer game, what do you expect, or what you feel like, what you think is supposed to be in a multiplayer game, then it would have been helpful. It would have been way helpful, because you're catering to a community or a group of gamers that expect this much to a game. You know what I mean? And this game is also about playing it over and over, and actually they all like the prestige. They all like doing the prestige. And if you compare the Call of Duty prestige system to the Titanfall, it's shorter. It's
Right.
easy to get to level 10. Like once you're at level 10, you're done.
Pretty
Call
much.
of Duty, it takes longer. Yeah,
No,
Call of
yep.
Duty, it takes longer.
And in Battlefield, you pretty much have to level up each weapon. So that takes even longer than that. I think also one thing that was lacking in Titanfall was the content in the expansions, because from what I'm seeing here, like no one is playing the expansion content. So it's
Yeah, that's another big problem.
kind of worthless to buy it actually, or even the season pass. But from what I understood, those map packs were literally just that, map packs. They didn't make any changes to the game, or they
the
didn't add
features
any
and the
new
changes
weapons.
were all in the updates. Yeah.
Yeah. While unlike Battlefield, which also has a similar system of releasing these map packs, each of those map packs also introduces new elements into the game. Like there's themes, right? There's like close combat fighting, or there's a full armored warfare. Air naval combat, it becomes a focus, things like that. So, and then they add new stuff. They add new planes, new weapons, new tanks, new guns also that comes out regularly, new
Yep.
achievements. So I think Titanfall really lacked in that aspect also in handling their DLC rollout.
If you check out the lineup of like the guns and the number of like things you can customize with your Titan and your actual pilot,
Yeah.
it's completely nothing if you put it side by side Call of Duty or Battlefield. Because Battlefield, there's a lot of things you can actually like get, customize, and
Yep.
whereas in Titanfall, you have three main bodies for the Titan, possibly like 4 primary weapons, maybe 4 secondary. It's just not. It's the arsenal of weapons are nothing compared to the other games.
Well,
So it's just.
I got a small theory though.
what's your theory?
Remember, I think like what could be affecting the people just playing it in general is the platforms it came out in.
Which was
Yeah,
Xbox
sure.
One,
PC and then
and
later
360.
Xbox 360, which nobody knew that was a thing that was happening because they didn't market it. They didn't market the 360 version.
That's
And like you're comparing it to Call of Duty and Battlefield, which those games came out on everything except the Wii
True.
U.
Yeah.
So that might be another factor. Just just something to consider because yun nga. Yeah, and syempre the single player content and all that, but like not everyone is on an Xbox or PC and everything. So I think that the console like the platforms that came out and helped. I mean, not really helped, but was probably the reason why the community is not all that big for Titanfall.
Yeah. And the reason why we're mentioning this is because this is a multiplayer-only game. So for those that are jumping in, thinking that it'll be a cool that experience, you might have really long queues to actually get the game going now compared to before, because that's the reason why I turned off. I got completely turned off by Titanfall, not because I was getting bored by it, it's because I'm just stuck with attrition. And attrition is pretty much a team deathmatch version. And the reason why I was stuck with attrition is because that's the only place where people play. That's the only place where people are. I can't play capture the flag or domination because there's no one there. I don't want to wait 10 minutes in a lobby, to find a 4v4 match or 6v6 or whatever. It just takes too damn long. So for those who are actually going to buy Titanfall now, be wary, especially the PC. And there you go. But that's it for the news, though. You want to go over the Urban Legends now?
Yes, we certainly can. I'm ready for that.
All right, moving on. Urban Legends. It's still Halloween. Halloween's like a couple of days from now, and we've been doing the whole Urban Legends sharing. And to end it, we're actually going to share the last bit of Urban Legends that are pretty interesting.
Urban Legends.
And who wants to start with that?
Well, I got one from the days of, Oh, excuse me. There we go.
Days of Future Past.
It's actually Nintendo. It's a urban legend about certain Nintendo games or Nintendo characters.
It's always Nintendo.
No, but okay. This specific one is about Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube.
Okay.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Luigi's Mansion is the
Ghost.
it's basically you play as Luigi and you hunt ghosts in this old mansion. So
Suck him in a
according to
vacuum.
this urban legend that keeps popping up, there's a specific room where you go to, and if you stand in a specific spot and wait for lightning to strike, you'll see for a moment like what seems to be like Luigi's shadow hanging from the ceiling, which
Like he hung himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's actually video of this on and pictures of this online, and it does look remarkably like someone's shadow is hanging from a ceiling.
It looks like
It
Luigi.
looks like, and specifically
That's
in a
for
game
sure.
about haunted mansions and ghosts, right?
And it's only in that one
It's
room.
only in that room. So there's actually a little bit of debate. So this is actually in the game. Whether or not it's a glitch or not, who's to say?
No, it's confirmed to be.
But a lot
glitch.
of people are also always saying that there's originally meant to be a much darker theme where maybe Luigi is the ghost all along. Who knows?
Oh man, I hate those plot twists. Like, oh my god, it's actually a ghost all along, like Sixth Sense kind of ish bullshit.
In relation to this, the other thing is about Princess Daisy, was like Luigi's girlfriend, as opposed to Princess Peach, who is Mario's girlfriend, right?
That's what they say.
Mario banged her first, but then
That's all they say.
but apparently, there's the thing where she has a third eye located in the back of her head.
the Smash Brothers
Yes,
melee trophy.
Yeah. So
That's
basically here, what happens is in Super Smash Brothers Melee, if you get the Princess Daisy as a trophy and you go to the gallery and basically you gotta zoom the camera until it clips under her hair, she basically has a third eye underneath her hair on the back of her head.
What? Is
Yeah,
that
because you can like zoom around and rotate the trophy in Smash Brothers, and if you zoom in the camera so you make it clip through her hair, you can see an extra eyeball pasted to the back of her, like her head sculpture piece, whatever. And it's freaky looking.
That's weird.
It's freaky looking,
Nintendo,
exactly. Like it's probably a modeling error. Like someone just messed up at some point, or like just covered it with the hair. But it's just weird and kind of misshapen and kind of gross looking when you think about it. But this became such a popular thing that, like, in Mugen fighting games, when someone made Princess Daisy there, she actually has
the third eye.
used as a move.
I should check my copy of Smash Melee and see if I have the version with the third
Oh,
eye.
did they patch that out at some point?
Yeah, the later releases have removed the third eye, but like I think all Japanese versions have it, and I don't know which version I have,
Right.
so I should check it out.
Okay. All right.
That's fun.
But that's my creepy stories and
The Luigi hanging himself has been confirmed a bug because he's you know how characters are in their T poses when you rig the skeleton, the 3D skeletons.
Yeah.
That's essentially what happens.
So his shadow
Yeah.
is essentially the.
Yeah, like the shadow is doing the T pose, but it looks like he's like levitating above the
Yeah.
window, so it looks like he's hung himself.
That's how urban legends are born. Bullshit like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's not really an urban legend because it's really there.
It is there,
That's true.
exactly. It's
The
actually
videos
there.
aren't hoaxes; they're really there. And I think they never removed it from Luigi's Mansion. Like I think it's still there in all the versions.
It's kind of cool that it's still there. Like it adds a little bit of a creepy. It adds to the creepiness of the whole thing.
Yeah, and Luigi's Mansion, man, because like if you think in Smash Brothers Brawl they have final smashes when you break the smash ball,
Right.
which is essentially like character supers.
Right.
Yeah.
You remember Luigi's final smash?
What was it?
He'd make like he'd cast an orb around him. Then if any of your opponents are inside, like random negative effects will happen to them. Like you can have like 5 bad status effects happen at the same time, like the flower effect where they're constantly taking damage. They could be asleep. They could be knocked away instantly.
Yeah.
And the trophy description for that is his pent up emotion for Mario being always in the spotlight and him being in the shadow.
God.
So his final smash is his emotions running amok.
Really? Holy moly.
It's so
Wow.
And that's why the year Luigi was born. Stupid.
yeah, but that's not the case anymore because he's like the big dog now because of the death
Didn't
stare.
he have 2 years of Luigi? Like, yeah, he had...
Yes.
1.5? I don't know.
More or less.
Um,
Yeah, but if you notice now, since the Death Stare fiasco, and Nintendo's obviously riding the Death Stare, in Smash Brothers for 3DS, in the character portraits, Luigi's in an angry face, which was never the case in any of the older games. He was either all scared or like his eyes are closed.
yeah, Luigi's always a scared side. He was always.
And now he's like angry Luigi
That's pretty cool though.
because of the Death Stare. He's a different man now.
It's a different year, a different Luigi.
He's not gonna take shit from Mario
Fuck
anymore.
that guy.
It's his time.
Screw the plumber.
But he's a plumber too.
He's an assistant plumber. That's worse.
He's the brother of the plumber.
For me though, I have one, and it involves World of Warcraft. And I didn't think there was actually an urban legend, but it being a really big game, I guess there was. But this one's actually starting. You can actually get this on the. I'm not too sure they patched it, they fixed it, but actually no one knows if it's why it's there, but it's still there. It was just placed there, and then people were just getting a little kind of weird that this actually happened every now and then on a specific time clock on the server.
Okay.
If you actually start a new character, a new human character, you do the customization and whatnot, and then you're pretty much dumped in the first town, which is called the small place called Goldshire.
Yep, Goldshire.
If you go around and you explore, there's a small, normally empty house that you can find 6 little kids that only appear at 7 a.m. on the game server clock. 7 a.m. Yeah.
7 a.m.
But these 6 little kids will. It's kind of weird because these 6 little kids will only stand in the shape of a pentagram as they move from Goldshire to Stormwind. And what was weird is.
Carlos, sorry to stop you, but it's midnight for all you listeners. And Will, somebody told me that today there's something about today.
Something about today.
October 28th. There's something about today. What
It's
is
my
it?
birthday, guys. So there you go.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
We can sing that now.
Happy birthday.
Because it's not-
Will.
Happy birthday,
Yes.
Will. TMG Podcast.
Yeah.
Horror edition / not so horror edition.
Thanks, guys. Here's to
Oh,
1
man.
year with podcasting and hopefully many, many more.
Yeah, it's been 1 year.
We also started in October too,
exactly.
so. Oh.
You're right on the ball. It literally is 12 a.m.
12:01
Oh,
on
yeah,
my
I've been
clock
talking for a minute already since you announced it.
now.
That was, happy birthday, man.
Thanks, guys.
Many more for you.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
May you have a wonderful birthday.
Oh.
Your first birthday greet is recorded live, not so live.
You guys literally are my first birthday.
Yeah, good job, Migs.
Are you sure
Yeah,
we're
but-
the first? Because this might be an
Check
elaborate
Facebook
plan
right
set
now.
by someone.
If anybody got it.
Oh, God. I'm going to have like a bazillion messages waiting on Facebook.
Yeah,
Do you have your birthday like shown to the world?
I
on
took
Facebook?
it off. I hate that.
Or do you hide it so that you'll know who your true friends
hate
are?
it, so I'll know what
No,
you're-
mine's there on Facebook, so whatever.
Yeah, I'll join the comment train then later.
We'll see. Yeah. And I'm going to have to reply to each and every one. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
One reason why I actually told him. Anyway, back to the scary part.
World of Warcraft.
Yes, it's not so where was I? 7 kids? No, 6 kids. Okay, 6 kids. Show up exactly at 7 a.m. and they're like positioned weirdly, and people are saying shape of a pentagram. And from Goldshire, they're moving to Stormwind. And a lot of WoW players are reporting that when you're around that time when they're going from Goldshire to Stormwind, they're hearing high-pitched wails screaming, "You will die," to music that isn't found anywhere in the game. And you can see it. There's a video in YouTube, but some people can't explain it. But I'm not too sure if it's there yet still, but it's actually pretty freaky. The Blizzard never mentions it about it, but if you actually find a specific empty house, you can see it when it triggers at 7 a.m. It just happens, and then that high-pitched voice comes, and then you'll just keep hearing that "you will die," and music, and it's actually pretty freaky. And you can see it on YouTube, like I mentioned. And
So is it just the voice, or does a character like appear?
no, it's just a voice, and then the kids are just like their position as shaped as a pentagram. They're moving in the road to Stormwind.
Oh man, wow. And that had no relation to
people
any sort of like other event in the game, like
No, people they just pop and they start walking, and then the screens start showing up.
you know, that's what I really love about MMOs. Well, not so much now, but back in the day when like we didn't really have when we didn't really have like these wiki sites with like everything you want to know about MMO would be there. Like there'd still be a lot of things people didn't understand about what was going on in an MMO. So there were always theories. I remember in EverQuest, no one could figure out like certain things about this quest, like the old epic quest line, until someone actually did it. You know, and so those sort of like MMO stories where you know there's something that the programmers put in, but then you can't figure out what it was about, and then people try to come up with theories. That's always been one of the fun things about MMOs, I think. But this particular incident was just really nothing relation at all to any.
Well, it just happened. Well, based on from what I know, it just shows up at exactly 7 a.m. And if you, I guess anybody can go it, but as long as you go to the starting location of the humans in Goldshire, you can see it happen. And it's pretty creepy, especially like people are actually checking out like the music file of the specific because that sound, like "you will die" stuff like that. They can't find it anywhere else in the game in the file. Like, it's not replicated in another point in the game. It's just it's there at a specific spot, and they can't just pull it out on the game file.
Yeah.
It just happens, and it's just freaky. And then if you check out the other video, you can see the kids, and then you actually see some players waiting for the thing to happen. The kids are just there in the house, and then eventually they'll just start walking in a perfect pentagram shape position.
I wonder who was responsible for programming that in and what their purpose was for. That is pretty creepy, though.
Yeah, and they just start running, and that's it. And then there's no explanation. There's no explanation whatsoever. It just happens. So that's actually pretty cool.
That still happens now. Like did it ever change from like when this was in vanilla?
That I don't know. Yeah, that I don't. That I have to double check though if it actually changed stores like through the years, because we're talking about a game that's like what, more than 10 years now.
Yeah, can you believe that? World of Warcraft is that old and it's still going.
Yeah, it's a fucking decade old, and then they're actually releasing another expansion like next month.
Yep,
which improves the graphics and whatnot.
Graphics, so. Finally, yeah.
Improve or
next
gen-ish. But that's my little share for the urban legends, because I thought it was a little bit creepy that it wasn't explained. Blizzard didn't bother talking about it. It's just there for people to explore. And like you said, I like that. I like people like in MMOs they see it, and then they just not only figure out, they more experience it. In this case, it's a very scary or creepy experience. So there you go. What about you, Migs?
Alright, I got something a little darker this time. Of course, you guys know the game Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh,
the obvious, like, it's obviously like based off Chuck E. Cheese, like the pizza joint, with the little mascots and everything.
Yeah.
And recently I found out that there was actually a shooting in Chuck E. Cheese like many years ago. Like, I think when the business was maybe new or something like that.
Chuck E. Cheese is still around today, right?
Yeah, it's still around. But yun nga, there was a disgruntled employee hid in, I think, the bathroom until closing time, and there were 5 people still working there at the time. And no, yun nga, he took them out. Like I think the guy was mopping in the kitchen, 3 people in like the arcade area, and the manager. Yun, was it 4? But I forgot the exact positions that they were working on. But yun, this disgruntled employee that got fired for I forgot what reason. He shoots 5 people in Chuck E. Cheese, and I saw a video of someone linking this story to the Five Nights at Freddy's backstory, because there's a the story in Five Nights where you're an employee working at the night shift, watching the security cams and the animatronics, right?
Yeah.
In one of the cameras, you can see like random news articles that change based on the wall.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the articles like present a story of essentially 5 kids who ended up missing in the pizzeria or something like that, and how parents were reporting foul smells coming from inside the animatronics, and how some of them have seen blood and mucus coming out of their eyes and all that. And yun nga, this guy was able to parang link the 5 people at Chuck E. Cheese, because it's actually 5 people at Chuck E. Cheese and 5 kids missing, and how there are 5 animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's. You only get introduced to the 4,
right?
But the bunny, the duck, Freddy, the bear,
the wolf,
and the wolf.
Supposed to be another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a 5th one that can appear randomly. In, I think, the closet camera to the left near your room, there's a poster that can change randomly. If it changes into a parang golden Freddy bear with no eyes, and you go back and look in your room, there will be a golden Freddy with no eyes, just standing there in front of you. Then after a few seconds, his face will appear on screen and will actually crash your game.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, he appears randomly. So
he'll crash the game?
Yeah, he'll actually shut down the
wow.
game if he gets you. And he was able, like the video was able to link the 5 people to the positions of where these animatronics go and their behaviors as well. Like the duck goes through the right side, diba? And like hangs around by the restroom area, ganyan, and or how like the bunny goes into the closet area with all the cleaning equipment, because one of them was cleaning the kitchen at the time.
So the animatronics where they were hanging out in the game is somewhat similar to where the shootings were, their positions. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Parang ganon. And like how Freddy, how Freddy moves, but he hides around in the dark and you can only see his glowing eyes. One of the spots he hides in is the women's restroom, like the entrance, which is a bizarre place for what you would consider a male animatronic. Yeah. And there was also like a link to that because the shooter was hiding in like the women's restroom and all that. And how one of the 5 people from the shootings actually survived because he played dead after getting shot in the jaw. And he also linked that to how the golden bear plays dead when you meet him the first time. And like how he comes back and like, because he crashes the game, kunyari, and parang he's saying that the player character, you, is actually the shooter, like stuck in limbo, and he's forever reliving the cycle of that nightmare.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
That puts a lot of twist on the game, actually.
Yeah, I looked it up because like the game had interesting lore, and I was looking at like because like the 5 kids missing, and the animatronics actually make like people sounds in a distorted manner that when you're playing the first time you don't notice, but people like looked into it and tried to decipher what these audio logs are. diba? And they were able to manage out a few sentences and people asking for help. Then another guy delved in deeper, and like there are Reddit threads about this and linking it to it. And it might be like the developer might have gotten inspiration from the Chuck E. Cheese shootout.
That'd be interesting if it did.
So
and even if it wasn't, like maybe the people like just going crazy with their imagination. This game is still an indie game, a very short, like maybe it's around 200 pesos if you want to buy it. It's a very cheap and short indie horror game, and it's getting a lot of reception and a lot of, I guess, publicity because people are just making their own stories, just like how Slender people made their own stories.
Yeah, to the point when people started
Slender came from
people started believing Slender was a real thing. But that's amazing stuff. I love how people are making up the creepypasta lore. It's really cool.
Yeah, because for one, like for those that are looking for a great horror game to play, Friday Nights at Freddy's for the PC is like one of the perfect ones.
Yeah, it's a really good like short horror game if you want to get into it, and it's getting a sequel. The trailer just came out, I think, 2 days ago.
Oh, is there anything new? I haven't checked
the
trailer. How's the
Some of the animatronics got a redesign, and I think it's a sequel actually.
You get tired again. So remember that you don't you get like.
Yeah. When you beat the main game, it says see you next week, even though they sort of fire you at the end.
But that was a good one though. That was actually a good urban legend.
Yeah, it's really deep. I genuinely think that it really was partially inspired by that event, maybe to help keep the story from being forgotten in the echoes of time, because there's just so many coincidences and similarities between them. Yeah, it makes what already has an interesting backstory even more interesting. And if you wanna see like what I was talking about even more, the video was actually from Gametheorist, Game Theory on YouTube, as part of their like October creepy stuff. And that actually gave me a bit of a tingle in my spine.
Your story gave me a little bit of tingle because that was a new one. It's a recent game, and what you were explaining, it kind of makes sense. The coincidences are actually there. Like the placements of the animatronics are similar to where the people were before they got shot. That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, and even like how there are some bizarre cameras. Like, why would you place a camera in a storage room with like cleaning equipment, like a mop or something?
Yeah, that's true.
And even like how the camera 5, the kitchen camera, is blacked out.
Yeah.
That's because the guy who survived was cleaning the bathroom at the time. And that might be where the golden Freddy bear is hiding in the game, kunyari, or something like that.
And then why is the wolf the one running?
Because he linked that to the manager, which like the manager was like hiding in the back room, diba? And would only come out if there was something urgent. And like how the wolf acts is if you're not watching him or something long enough, he'll just come out and run towards you. So parang ganon, like he linked it to their specific behaviors and even like the outfits and their themes and everything.
That's actually pretty awesome. That's actually an awesome urban legend. And it's new. It's actually very new.
So that's mine.
Cool.
Hope you guys can sleep well tonight.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
That was.
I definitely had a little goosebumps from that one. I guess that's it for our horror month.
That's it for horror month, guys. Next month will be back to regular.
To our regular.
Actually, the next month will be the heavy month because that's where a lot of stuff is releasing.
November.
October. Halloween is happening in a couple of days.
You guys got costumes?
Oh yeah, be sure to check out the channel because Will's Dreadout videos going up.
So if you guys, our Let's Plays are actually ongoing right now.
And our like my Silent Hill 3 playthrough from like way back in 2011 finally ending.
Oh, it's ending. Okay.
Yeah, because we live streamed it on our Twitch channel back in 2011, which unfortunately the archive is gone because of Twitch's new purging. So we continued that as a recording in 2012. We skipped last year because we were just busy, and we finally beat it
That's
this
awesome.
year.
Uh,
I'm sure nobody cares, but we did it.
Dreadout's out for Will. Alien Isolation is ongoing for me. You have 7 days, and
Yeah, we got the 2 parts of
And
7
I
days
might
to beat
actually
that
have
game.
another one eventually, a little bit late to the party, unfortunately. But I got around to playing through some Amnesia Machine for Pigs, so I've been
okay,
recording
cool.
that. But I don't think it.
Yeah, we'll
I
try
don't
to
think
get
I'll
that
have
up
it in
as soon as
time for
possible.
the end of the month. But we'll definitely put it up still as a late to the party special or something.
Yeah, but for sure, though, if you guys want a
Yeah.
good scare, we'll have a good lineup of like things to check out.
Yeah, we've got a better lineup than last year. But if you want to check out last year's, we got a
Yeah.
bunch of those too. There's a playlist for each year. So since 2012.
What are you guys
Check
doing at
that
Halloween?
out.
Probably staying home. Eating.
I don't know,
Yeah,
eating Friday.
probably eating a lot.
We don't really celebrate Halloween in the
It's
Philippines.
more for
anyway,
the
so-
kiddies now. With
I
All
personally,
Souls Day.
for me, I personally celebrate it in a way that every year.
I'm gonna watch a bunch of
Oh yeah,
scary
that's what I do.
movies. Though.
Every year I get a theme, a horror theme. Like last
Got a bunch.
like last year was hack and slash sci-fi. So I had Alien Marathon plus Texas Chainsaw.
Okay.
So that was
The Texas Chainsaw is like a goofy
Well-
kind
well-
of horror.
slasher. So
They tried to make it all serious with the reboot.
yeah, they did.
I haven't seen the reboot yet. I should check that out.
Yeah, this year I think I'm gonna be playing. I think I'm gonna be playing instead of watching now. Like I'm gonna, well, for one, I'm gonna finish Alien Isolation. I'm gonna play again Amnesia. Pretty much.
Oh,
The first
I have
one,
Amnesia
the Dark
then.
Descent.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, like instead of watching, I think I'm gonna just do a marathon on that specific day. All the what's considered one of the most scariest games to ever play. So I guess Slender will be there.
We already
Amnesia.
had Slender though from last year, right? The 8 pages.
Yeah, the 8 pages.
We don't
We don't
have
have
yeah,
a
the
sequel yet,
Arrival.
though.
The Arrival.
I hadn't played the Arrival. I actually played the old one, of course. I played one. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I think that's it for our Halloween. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Especially the one of the Five Nights at Freddy. Whoever hasn't played Five Nights at Freddy, you should play it.
It's cheap too.
There's a
It's very
demo out. There's a free demo you can get, and I think it plays up to day 2 and night 2, which I think is more than enough
It's a good
if you want
chunk
to try it
of
out.
games, yeah.
And it's also out on mobile
Really?
phones now.
I can imagine.
Yeah. It plays the same, but there's like a few missing animation effects, but you don't really
Yeah.
need all that. So I think it's decent.
We highly
on the
recommend
phone.
you check out Five Nights at Freddy's. It's actually a really
It's
surprisingly
good. It's good. It doesn't get scary like the longer you play, because it's more of
Yeah.
tension.
In fact, it's not even
Because they beat you in one hit.
It's
That's
not
why you're
even
tense. But
that
initially,
scary. Like the figures themselves don't look particularly scary in my opinion, but
initially they do. I think, like especially when they appear
they're
beside you
totally
with the light.
demented looking, sure, but like it's
Actually,
not like,
the look isn't
Yeah.
isn't the problem.
If you
The look
actually look
isn't
at
the
them.
problem. It's just the position of because you're asked to play the game in a sense where you have to stay focused. You have to
Yeah.
keep an eye on all of them. And then when you lose track of one and you think you got everything in control, that's
It-
when they show up.
they show up and you're all
And they also the game does use sound cues very well. Like when they're beside you and you hit the light, it makes like a doo loud
Yeah.
sound.
And of course, when they get you, like the sound is really loud.
And I hate the fact
Well,
when
that's
one
gonna
of the
scare you, no
animatronics are actually inside and you don't know it, so you're like going, oh,
And you just can't close the door anymore, and you know
yeah,
you're
and
dead.
then you check the
But
camera.
first
You
time
check
you
the
would have
camera and you bring it down, then it's it just starts showing up in the face, and it's just great. It's a perfect jump scare that
It's a really
it's a
good
very-
game, yeah. It just came out of nowhere,
yeah, literally
and it's suddenly everywhere.
with
With a
urban
sequel.
legends and
It's a
theories and
sequel.
whatnot and sequels. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So there, Five Nights at Freddy's, Halloween month, horror month, closing. We're done.
We should probably link the game theory video then, just to show
Yes.
show them like how deep it
Because
gets.
that's actually
because I did not do justice with the story because there's just so much. And it's really it's an entertaining video
That's
to watch as
also
well.
like I said a while ago, that's how Slender was built up. It was just people or the community just like putting, facts and stories.
Like one guy just seems to know one thing and like, hey, this might be related to that, and then other people dig into it because that's just how the internet works.
When it comes to Slender, it became so deep. They actually have kids like worshipping Slender, actually sacrificing some of their kids. I think there's also a case.
Yeah, that was
weird. Yeah.
Those kids stabbed up.
Yeah, see, that's just how.
But that just makes me wonder how it'll be like in 10 years, 20 years. Like, will Slender have been evolved into like more of a folklore thing, rather than?
He's a joke now, though. He was in a video game. I forgot
Slender's
what.
in a lot of games.
No, I mean like he was in I think it was an action game, but he was part of the
I know
background.
what you're talking about. I forgot the name of that game also.
Was that mission where you were, I think, on a train, and he's in one of the windows that scrolls by as a 2D asset or something? Pero wala lang.
But
anyway,
horror month. I hope you guys enjoy it. And that's pretty much the end of October. November, like we were saying a while ago, it's going to be pretty much heavy on the game releases, and also heavy in the local. We'll be pretty busy because we'll be covering ESGS. We're preparing right now. We're getting ready because like I said, if you want full coverage, whatever's there, whatever developer, whatever moves, we're gonna talk to. I mean, guards, developers, things.
Yo, what are your opinions on video games?
We're gonna jot it down.
Yo, seriously, during the Smash Bros tournament at PGF, the guards were like checking it out, man.
Checking it out. It was pretty interesting.
Like, there was this one guy who stopped by multiple times, and at one point he really stopped and watched the entire match. So, gusto ko nga tanongin, Kuya, sino main mo?
Alright guys, take it easy.
Yeah, well that's it for episode 55. Thanks for listening. We have an episode every Tuesday. If you like what you're hearing, do subscribe. We have every episode. Well, actually no, the first few, the latest 10 episodes on iTunes. For you guys to subscribe, do comment.
It's being archived on YouTube.
It's being archived in YouTube. It's also being archived on our website, www.toomuchgaming.com or www.toomuchgaming.net. So do check it out. We the weekends, and we have an episode on either in the morning of Tuesday or in the evening of Tuesday. Do follow us in Twitter. Do like us on Facebook, Too Much Gaming. YouTube, Too Much TMG blog. Videos from Miggy. He throws us a great amount of footage there. And of course, like we mentioned, our full coverage of our local events. We're also going to dump that there on our YouTube channel. So yeah, that's about it. If you have any concerns, questions, or anything really, do email us. At the TMG Podcast at gmail.com. That's where you can reach us. And I think that's it for episode 25. It's a long one, and that's it. We will see you guys next week, and thanks.
Take care, guys.
Bye.